I don't want to alarm anyone. But yes, it is I. How you guys doing? Remember I said I wasn't going to stream today? Well, guess what? I lied. Got a lot of donations from Nope Nope already. Damn. Thank you, Nope Nope, for the $5 and the various different emotes. Body count. Great. I have no idea what's going on here right now. My friends, it's going down like it always goes down. I did scare you? Come on. How's my green screen looking, huh? Is it looking pretty cool? Yeah. So chat is in fact Twitch chat, it seems. The chat is both Twitch chat and YouTube chat, what I'm reading right now. Thank you, Nope Nope, for the additional $1 with the angry face. It looks green screeny. No, it doesn't. If I go like this, no, not really. This looks fine. The lighting is all good. Yeah. This is what looks bad right here is the chair. I need to get a new chair. It's a blue screen, dog. Yeah, it is. You're right. Yep, it's a blue screen. So how's everybody doing today? Nope Nope, thank you for the devil face. And Nope Nope, thank you for the snooze face. I hate that YouTube has my... name. I should change that. Yo, Hunter, what games, F? When the hunter is sus. You have somehow managed to clash Twitch and YouTube chat? Yup. Somehow. I cracked the code. What's with the title of the stream? Donald Trump, body counts, Discord debates, more. It's not hard to understand. Now, granted, it might sound a little wacko. You guys might remember I wasn't actually going to stream today, originally. And, I don't know. I decided that I did, that I wanted to. I'll give you a little peek on what I've been working on today. Let me get this closed. Hold on. Yeah. I've been working on my my next video, which should be coming out tomorrow. It's on the Jewish question, debunking the Jewish question. Going through some of the myths, but more or less the history of the Jewish question. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I think you guys are going to really enjoy the video for sure. But yeah. Hunter, I've been muted from your server for a month now. I don't know why. Could you please unmute me? You've been unmuted from on Discord? I'm assuming these are topics or Trump killed someone and he has a high body. No. We're going to talk about the video where you have to guess someone's body count. But we're not going to do that first because first, I managed to trigger some Sargon of Akkad fans. And I had a feeling this was going to trigger them. Simply because I asked a question that presses them hard. So they basically post this thing. I've seen this form going around lately. This little excerpt. I keep having dreams about having my penis back. Last night I had another dream where I looked down and I have my penis back. It was bruised and had cuts, but it was there and it was mine, like no surgery ever happened. I was so happy and I thought it was strange I have a penis because I know I had the surgery 3 years ago. Then I woke up and went back to real life. SRS really fucks with your head. I still can't believe I need to pay for a mistake I made at 19 years old for the rest of my life. I cannot explain how bad it affects the mental stability of a man, and I'm seriously living a nightmare I can't escape. Holy shit, that sounds horrifying, absolutely terrible. And people that have to detransition who have been misdiagnosed for whatever reason, it's a terrible thing. It's really sad. So I asked a very simple question, which is, why does this anecdote matter more than the anecdotes of those who were happy transitioning? I think that that's a really fair question, and I would advise anyone listening to give that a thought for a second. Why does this anecdote matter more than the anecdotes of those who were happy transitioning? The answer, of course, is because on a statistical level, the regret rate and the detransition rate is extremely low, extremely slim. The majority of trans people are content with their treatment. Furthermore, everyone has the possibility to regret any form of treatment. I want to pull this up too. Now, I recognize completely that this is not a one-to-one comparison, but merely there are other treatments too that sometimes people have regrets. There is post-treatment regret among young breast cancer survivors, in fact. This is a study that followed up with some women who were struggling with some of the regret from their treatment. Now, would you look at this and say, like, well, cancer treatment, guess it's bad. Right? Probably not. Because we don't form arguments like this. So, yeah, what do you think, chat? Why does this anecdote matter more than the anecdotes of those who were happy transitioning? Why? I think that's a pretty fair question, right? The comments are really fucking hilarious. Watching conservatives try to just argue this. Some of them didn't even bother. Because mental health matters. And so does the mental health of trans people that transition and are happy with it? What? I'd imagine this person was happy transitioning until they weren't. Huh? Mikey Forge, thanks for the $5. The suicide... Wait. I was getting mixed up here and was seeing chat at the same time. My apologies. Mikey Forge, at Hunter Evelyn, the suicide rate is real and staggering. It's even higher for people that don't transition. What does that mean? So far, no answers. I was so curious to see. I only have 17 responses, but still. Trans people who have supportive parents in transition are drastically less likely to... Someone's cool over here. All right, like... They aren't as widely shared, but they should be. Not everything is sunshine and rainbows. First of all, we know that. Obviously, not everything is sunshine and rainbows, and it never will be so long as dipshits like you exist. Second of all, they're not as widely shared because they don't happen as frequently, and because when they are shared, they're oftentimes used with the intent of bashing trans people or trying to discredit treatment altogether. Which is what conservatives are doing, by the way, when they share this post, exactly. All right, we're going to ignore this part. Hunter, when you cut off your Johnson, we will support you. Okay, funny. No response so far. Nobody said it does. Go be stupid somewhere else. Okay, not a response. Get ratioed. Not a response at all. What happened to you? Not a response. Soy. Not a response. All right, here's a long one. Okay. Come on, people talk more about successful transitions and glamorize going on hormones, etc. Lots of kids and impressionable people see those positive stories and think that transitioning will make them a new... Oh, here we go again. The media is making our kids gay. Our media is making kids trans. The same old bullshit. It's important that we talk about unsuccessful transitions too, so that people can make better decisions and see what's right for them. Well, I actually can agree with this so far. Of course it's important that people are aware of the potential risks there, but trans people are. I don't think, I don't think that people who share these stories think that detransitioner stories are more important than those who have successful transitions. They just want to share the fact that transitioning can be something you can regret and shouldn't take lightly. Okay, that comment actually wasn't that bad. I mean, it was, at least seemed to be pretty good faith. Okay, so cool. Props. My God, man, I really like your YouTube channel. You have, like, the greatest intro. You used to spit facts and logic. What happened to you? I actually responded to him and said, join my Discord and debate me tonight on stream. Anyone else is welcome to join. Ryan says, half of them being happy and the other half destroying their lives versus no destroyed lives. Hard choice? What about the people that commit suicide if they don't get treatment? I don't get it. So far, that's the most accurate one. All right, that's it, I guess. So basically, no answer at all. I got no answer. If any conservative wants to jump on here and debate this kind of position, I would love to hear it. Reminder that Sargon doesn't want to debate any other lefties for obvious reasons. Finished cooking chicken rice, and I'm now watching Hunter's live stream. Sweet. And hey, Nope. Thank you for the various donations. I like cheese. Okay, cool. I slept with you in your dreams, pal. JK. That's honestly quite gross. Mike Mick, thank you for the $5. Hey, I like lots of your content. Has a neat mix of content in terms of today's issues. Hope you're doing well. Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying the content. Hey, Hunter, can we debate? Get in the Discord, G. We can talk if you want. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and move this over here real quick. Hello. Hello? Hello, friend or foe, and are you planning on following the TOS? Okay, well then that's fine. I just want to make sure you're going to follow the rules. What's up? Oops. Alright, well, hey, have a good rest of your day, alright?
Supposed to be debating? What?
No, this is for... Alright, I'm going to get you off the call. Have a good one. Alright. Hello? 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 Okay, that was lame. Hello? Miss Sullivan, yes, you can get on and debate. Just let me know what your Discord name is. How you doing, man?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
How are you?
I'm multitasking. I'm doing good. Yeah.
Cool.
So, I haven't. I mean,
Good God.
I mean, it's been some time since I've watched some of your content, but I remember when you were first on YouTube. I just remember just seeing you, and I was thinking, oh man, this guy's just another one of these conservative, like, grifters. But honestly, now that now I've seen your evolution, I can see that you're actually pretty genuine.
Thanks, man.
So I want to know. Oh, I want to know, like, I know you've said this a billion times, but what exactly was your tip? was the tipping point that led you to becoming like this enlightened centrist that we see today?
It was more of just a various of things that happened. It was not like one specific thing. It was more just me growing up as I get more mature. It was certain debates, doing my own research, a whole conglomeration of things. But really, it took a lot of introspection too, and just humility to like be able to look back and admit that you may have been wrong in some places.
Yeah, that seems pretty humble. Uh, yeah. So uh, I remember in one of the streams you said you were still pro gun, and I wanted to know why. Like, because I mean, if you could lay out your case for being pro gun.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's important for people to, have the right to protect themselves and their property. But I also think that there needs to be limitations there as well.
Okay. So, what limitations would they be?
I
Do you
think
mind
that
me
there
asking?
needs to be pretty strong background checks. I think that if people have like an issue with a mental illness or crime in the past, I don't think they should be able to get guns. I think that there should be like a longer way to evaluate people who want to get guns to make sure that they are, mentally stable and everything else. Um, so yeah, that's just like a couple of things off the top of my head, I guess.
Okay. So, I mean, with the strict background checks, don't you think it would be easier, like with semi-automatics, uh, like, and I mean, guns like bazookas, they're mostly used for specific purposes, and like, why do you need like a semi-automatic to defend yourself? Why not just like a pistol?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really too interested in getting into like the specifics of the guns. It's more or less that there are of certain guns I think that are unnecessary for people to have. I'm not sure if I'm in the position to make that call right now. But like we kind of all acknowledge that, right? Like I say this almost every time. Like there's a reason we're not all running around with like bazookas. Like we know that, it's not there's going to be a limit there.
Hmm. Yeah, because I mean, the government has done this before with machine guns.
Yeah.
Like there was a ban on machine guns in 1930s. That's why we don't see them that much anymore.
Yeah.
Not the good old days.
Yeah, really.
But
Well, hey man, I really appreciate you coming on.
yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, just before you kick me off, my name is Robert Loja. Um, just for people that didn't
All
know.
right, yeah. Nice to meet you, Robert.
You too, man.
All
Take
right.
care.
Bye-bye. Um who is where's the Sullivan person that's been asking to debate me? There was one of these people. Can we make this not so loud? Please. The alert box feature is not working well in my thing. All right. Yeah, does anyone know who that person was that wanted to talk? Hello. Yes, I can. Are you going to follow the rules?
Down.
What's
Yeah,
up?
what was it? I just want to say, like, is it okay if we debate?
What do you want to talk about?
Um, my thing is just like, uh, solutions to like the current issues in our country, like political issues and things with Black Lives Matters,
Yeah,
just
what
stuff like that.
do you disagree with BLM in general or something?
Not necessarily the name. Like I do think BLM or Black Lives Matters do matter.
Of course,
I
yeah.
just think that their approach to it isn't good because like at this so it really started with George Floyd, and the first 2 days, I
Uh-huh.
completely 100% agreed with what they did. They laid down in the streets, arms behind their back. That is completely okay. I supported that.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, but after that, with all the rioting and all the looting, all the violence,
Yeah.
that's the part where I don't see how this was good because
Right, and
main
the thing that makes that kind of complicated, right, is that there is whenever you have like these large movements of people, especially that are not necessarily associated with anything other than like a common cause, really, you're going to see like factions of that group break out and unfortunately act violently. It's unfortunate. It is. And I don't know how familiar you are with my position, but like I'm very against looting. I've even said that like if people need to defend their businesses via lethal force, then that is like within their right if they're like arsonists or looters approaching their business and their livelihood. But I also don't know if it's really fair to use that to essentially demonize the entire movement. Like, there are going to be some people that don't act appropriately, but there are also a lot of people that acted very peacefully, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm not trying to demonize, the whole movement because there are, of course, some outliers. But the thing is, though, is that they didn't denounce or like say we don't support, these violent rioters that are using our name.
Did they not?
Like, no, they really, to my knowledge, they didn't denounce them because for like 2 years straight, they were continually rioting in the name of Black Lives Matter. And the part that really got to me was that when the Democrats, or I don't want to specifically like demonize the Democrats, but like when the Democrats were allowing this to continue, like in Portland, when BLM or Antifa, whatever you want to use, were firebombing and throwing.
I'm aware that there was violence, and I'm aware because that's part of the symptoms of civil unrest.
Yeah,
But
of
if
course.
we can fix the issues that are leading to civil unrest, that would probably go to help looting, right? And
Yeah,
also,
I
just
mean,
really quickly, again, since BLM is kind of like a movement, there's also like an organization that has chapters. Um, there was a time, you might be referring to this, in early August, one of the BLM organizers called the looting of downtown stores a form of reparations. She went
yeah.
viral because of how fucked up that was. But this is probably what a lot of people don't know. As an organization, they said
Yeah.
BLM Chicago does not condone looting, and they apologized for that statement. There was definitely some misspeak, some things missaid in the press recently from one of our folks that may have sounded like support for or condoning looting. Organizationally, we certainly don't have anything to do with or condone illegal activity that, really frightens and quite frankly pisses off a lot of black folks. So
Okay.
that
Yeah.
comes from BLM. So they did. It does
Okay.
sound like they denounced it.
Okay. 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 Then that's my bad. I probably didn't see it. That's completely my bad.
No, it's all
Um.
right. And also, it's because they're not all like, there are different chapters. There might be some chapters that didn't condone it. There might be some chapters that did. That's why at the end of the day, we really have to look at the underlying cause, right? Like, what are the demands of BLM? Why are they out there protesting? Why is there this civil unrest, right? Let's fix that so that we don't have to have the civil unrest and the protests and the potential for violence.
Yeah, I think we do need police reform. Like, the justice system is completely not helping anyone. I mean, especially private prisons, and the fact that instead of actually trying to rehabilitate the people that go in so that they come out better
Right.
than when they first showed up, and the fact that it's harder for people who were arrested to get jobs, which then leads them to do more crimes because that's the only solution they have,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
they
See, it kind
they
of,
just keep going back into the
it sounds like
cycle.
you get it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we do need to reform that. I also do think that we need to help like fix the poverty because in one of the videos you uploaded recently that I watched, you talked about like the crime and then the
The poverty.
poverty cycle. Like,
Yeah.
because their poverty to commit more crime. Since there's crime, more poverty.
Right.
the whole cycle. And I think that if we could focus on both issues, if we reform the justice system and police, and we also try to help the poverty, so that crime isn't something that they have
It's
to go
constantly
to.
festering there. It sounds like
Yeah,
it sounds like you agree with Black Lives Matter then.
I mean, I do. I agree with Black Lives Matters. I just don't agree with some of the steps that have been taken in their name. Not necessarily everyone, but
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's of course. I mean, I would say the same thing then.
yeah, I mean, because I'm more of a centrist kind of person. I like to see both sides and try to get both sides to an agreement.
Right.
Because, I mean, neither side is perfectly correct or perfectly incorrect. So it's
Yeah.
just it's kind of hard because there's a lot of division in this country. So people aren't going to see eye to eye, and when they're constantly being told, "Oh, you're a libtard, soy boy, cuck,"
Right.
uh,
No,
or
you're
they're
exactly right. Honestly, it sounds like I think you understand this pretty well.
yeah,
I don't think that you have too much of a disagreement with BLM.
I really don't. I just kind of
Cool.
didn't like all the rioting, looting, and then
Yeah. No, I totally
kind of
get you.
getting away with it.
Yeah. Well, they actually didn't really get away with it. If you look at how many
Yeah,
arrests there
yeah.
were, it was pretty
I mean,
significant. But
they were arrested, but then they were released. Like
well,
the
that's probably
DOA
that.
said,
I would have to look into that, but I'm admitting that this is a guess, but that's possibly because when there's again big groups of people, they just arrest large groups of people. Some
yeah.
probably weren't charged with anything.
And
But hey, man,
yeah.
I know it's always awkward when I got to cut the conversation off, but I do have people
Oh,
waiting, so have a good
that's
rest of
fine.
your
That's
day,
fine.
man. Thanks for coming on.
You too. You too.
See ya. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Hunter. Hey, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
You good? Uh, am I on?
Yeah, yeah, we're live. How you doing?
Hey. I'm doing good. I was just looking over some content because I was actually trying to find something we disagree with, and I think we agree on a whole lot. I used to be following you in the heavy conservative days, and I was about the same lean as you. I'm happy to follow you and become kind of an enlightened centrist, just like yourself.
Hell yeah.
I was wondering, I was wondering your opinion on mostly affirmative action, actually, because I haven't seen you talk about it a ton.
Yeah, the reason I don't talk about it too much is because it's something that I admittedly haven't done too much research on. I do think that a lot of the times it gets taken out of context. I think that people act like affirmative action means it's just like black people get a free pass or whatever. And that can actually have adverse effects because it can actually manifest racism in a different way where you're now assuming, well, black people got into this job or this college because of affirmative action and not because of their own accomplishments. But what affirmative action, all it really does is if an employer gets a resume that's like identical, right? They're like incentivized to hire the black person
Hmm.
purely because on a statistical level, it's more likely that black people had to work harder to get to that position. I know that sounds kind of cringy, and it's cause it kind of is like it's trying to make a really broad generalization sort of. But I don't really know how to, I guess, address that other than like how it is right now.
Yeah. Would you agree with mandated quotas for larger companies?
Um, I don't know. I would have to look into that a little bit more because I know that like representation, for example, is really important, but I also don't want people to get hired just like charity hires essentially.
Yes. Yes.
So it could definitely be a problem.
What do you think the role of government is in hiring, or actually in customer discrimination? Go back to when bakers were refusing to serve that gay couple. I
Mhm.
don't know when that was specifically, but what was your opinion on that?
I mean, for a little while, I would have been on the bakery side of things.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I think that ultimately it would be discrimination, because if you're discriminating someone based on the fact that they're gay, then you're discriminating against a protected class, and that does break the law. So that's outside the purview of your rights as a private business. So I think that ultimately, if it were that cut and dry, I would have a problem with it. The Supreme Court ruling, though, you remember with the Colorado one, they ruled in such a way that they wouldn't have to make a decision.
Yes. Yes. I'm talking about more like ethically, like of course it breaks the law, and it's morally reprehensible basically to do that to a couple. But does the business owner have the right to do that as a private individual?
No. No, I don't think they have the right to discriminate on a protected class with their business. Like, the functionality of the business kind of relies also on its purpose to serve consumers, and I just think that by discriminating, yeah, you're violating the law, you're hurting your business, and it is ethically wrong. So, yeah.
I would argue you're allowed to hurt your business, and I think that's the role of cancel culture, actually. The legitimate.
Well, you
role
can, yeah, that's fair. I was more or less making kind of an argument there, I guess. But no, generally speaking, yeah, of course it's unethical to bar people from your business solely on the basis of their identity, and not serve them. So yeah, that would be wrong.
That law should be in place, though. You would argue that the business owner does not have the right
To what? Deny?
We found there's common ground in that it's morally questionable.
Mhm.
It's not something the business owner should do.
I mean, should the business owner be able to not serve someone because they don't want to help out like maybe they don't want to help like a black couple get married and they don't want to bake a cake for a black person?
Again, I think you can take it to that end. It's the same argument, but I think it's the role of cancel culture to step in there.
No, see, I would completely disagree. I think that cancel culture does a lot of fucking harm.
And
We can't rely on cancel culture to hold businesses accountable. The government, it's okay for the government to step in and do that.
But then again, I would say a business owner isn't responsible to provide goods or services to anyone. And I think that's the common conservative talking point as well.
Well, it kind of is, but by that basis, then you'd have to be okay with Jim Crow, right?
Would you?
Yes.
Could you expand?
Because then you can say, well, it's the business's right to refuse service to anyone, so they can go ahead and just say no blacks allowed.
Yes, I suppose that is correct.
So it would be the same kind of logic. So because of the conclusion of that kind of reasoning, no, I'm not in favor of that. I think that yes, you're right that the store has a right to refuse a customer, but that reason has to usually be for a justified reason. It can't be because you're white or because you're black or because you're gay. It's not usually like those are protected classes for a reason, right?
Yes.
And what's funny too is you'd think, right, that like if we were to get rid of those kind of protected classes and we allowed businesses to go to the extent of discriminating, you'd think that the market would like decide for that, and it probably would nowadays. But like during that time when Jim Crow was in full swing, like even though businesses would have made more money by allowing black people to come in, they were literally putting bigotry over profits.
Yeah, that's what I say when I mean cancel culture. I'm really referring to the market. But I mean, as you said, the market didn't change during Jim Crow, and so I think you could rely on it now to shut those businesses out, to bring them out of the market.
Well, yeah, I think that you can do that also, but and like again, it's just like it's their right to not serve certain consumers, it's also your right to not support that business.
Yes, but I don't know if it's the role of the government to come into private industry and tell business owners who they can and cannot service.
Then who else's job would it be?
It's the job of the market, the job of society. I mean, that's the way.
I mean, that didn't work though. It was already like that and didn't work.
Yeah, but I mean, we see it. We see it nowadays. Like What can I think of off the top of my head? Demi Lovato. That's an example of cancel culture going a bit astray, but I think it shows the power of it and its capability to shut a business down.
I'm not sure I know what you mean with the Demi Lovato thing. But
Have you talked back
I
in
am
the day?
gonna no, I actually didn't. But hey, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, Hunter.
Yeah, have a good rest of your day, all right?
Appreciate it, man.
See ya. Hello? I'm guessing this is just a fan naming themselves this. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
How's it going?
Going good, man.
Great. So I want to ask you like a question about so I just want to clarify like in your video, in your like spicy takes video, you talked about like about hell. So
Uh-huh.
do you think that like just want to make sure? Do you think that like teaching children about hell is child abuse?
Yeah, it certainly can be, yes. It depends on
Okay.
how you're teaching them about hell.
Okay, great. We agree because I agree you can teach it in the wrong way. Like that makes it abusive. Like if you don't do it, how you gonna go to hell? But I think you can teach it in like a charitable way, like so it cannot like harm the child.
You
So
could
yeah,
teach them to it as a concept, maybe, as like, some people believe this, or this is what this religion believes, kind of, maybe like that. But I think
Well,
that it can be pretty psychologically damaging if you start teaching kids. There are multiple different parts of Christianity that I think are harmful for children's development, not just the concept of hell.
Well, if Christianity was true and hell was real, would that change your mind on this issue? If it was real, hypothetically.
If it
Well,
was real, yes, but the thing is we never will be able to know that for sure. So I think it is irresponsible to start teaching children, especially at a young age when they're really susceptible psychologically, that they're approaching eternal damnation if they don't abide by the religion of their parents. Because that's essentially what it boils down to.
Okay. So I want to touch upon this. So like in your debate with like your first debate with Beardson, like you said about like that's conservative to conserve like the liberal values that America was founded on, which I don't really think makes a lot of sense. Like, I mean, like if you conserve the liberal values, I don't really think that's conserve liberal values. I don't think it's that conservative. But I mean, can you elaborate on that?
I'm not even sure. My first.
Like in the debate with like if I got the
Oh, when I said that
like,
America was founded on the Enlightenment.
yeah, and like how.
Yeah, when America was
how-
first getting
well,
started, it was founded on Enlightenment thought, which was like that idea that we were all individuals with individual rights. It was a huge. I can pull up like the article if you want a little more info on it. But does this have anything to do with what we were just talking about?
No, I was just like, no. So it was like so when Beardson like asked the question, like, what are you conserving? We're like conserving the founding values of this country. So
Yeah.
like, were you? Yeah. So like, were you? So like, you're saying that like that it's technically conservative to like conserve like the liberal values that our country was founded on.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would go about. I know that's not what it means to be conservative, unfortunately, but I think that, yeah, if why wouldn't you want to conserve the founding values? Enlightenment thought, freedom, democracy, suffrage, individual rights. This is it was followed by the American Revolution. It was included. It's also called the American philosophy. Let me get this up on my screen here. The American Enlightenment was a period of intellectual ferment in the 13th American colonies in the 18th to 19th century, which led to the American Revolution and the creation of the United States of America. So yeah,
Okay,
the founding philosophy, the founding principles was centered around the idea that reason is the primary source of authority and legitimacy, and advocated such ideals as liberty, progress, tolerance, fraternity, constitutional government, and separation of church and state. So yeah, I honestly think what I advocate for is far more in line with like conserving American values than like modern day conservatives nowadays. 100%.
So like on tradition, like I've heard you like say this before, but like the argument for tradition is that like the old way of doing things, tradition is good because it's what got us here today, and we should have a bias like for the old way of doing things. Like
That's a
not to say
really
that we
bad way
shouldn't.
of thinking. No, just if we used to do something doesn't mean it's right or that we should still be doing that now. We used to do slavery. We used to do a lot of dumb shit.
We're not saying it. Well, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying we should have a bias towards it. But if it's wrong, then we should reject it. But we should have like a bias towards the old. That doesn't mean it can't change at all. I think I've seen it wrong with like change and like rejecting tradition if it's not good. But we should have like a bias towards it. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't.
Do you mean like a
reject
bias in favor of it?
it. Yes, because it's what kept us society. Because it's what got us here today, basically.
But what got us here wasn't tradition. It was literally these Enlightenment ideas like progress. I can send this to you if you want from lumenlearning.com. This isn't like a fucking biased source or anything.
Got it.
So,
lastly, like,
yeah.
I would be wondering if you'd like to have like a there's this like guy I really like to like college like Trent Horn. You probably don't know him. He's like I like him to like have a debate discussion. I've listened to him before. He's like he's a good faith person. He has lots of discussions with people on his podcast. And he won't act in bad faith or anything because I can assure and he's very good. I agree with him a lot on abortion, LGBT issues. So I wonder if you could debate him on that.
Who?
That'd be interesting to see or have a discussion. And he won't act in bad faith.
Who is this?
Check him out. Trent Horn. He has a YouTube channel and a podcast called The Council of Trent. You can Google it later.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's all I had. So, bye.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a good day.
Hello. Hello. If you can hear me but you can't talk, okay. Hello. I can hear you.
Yo.
I'm guessing you're not really a hater.
No, not really.
Okay, well, you got your time cut short now. Sorry, buddy. What's up?
I faggot.
All right, yeah, fuck you. I guess he was a Hunter hater. Jeez. Now I want that guy to come back on. If he's gonna just like yell slurs and then dip, that's cringe. Hello. Okay. Let's go over donations really quickly. Guys, if you want to help support the channel, then feel free to put something in the super chat. Have your message read and responded to live. Or if you are watching, wait, sorry, I got distracted by the chat. Someone saying this guy would destroy me. I would love to check this guy out then. Did he, oh, he went again against Matt Dillahunty. Yeah, this guy might be a little out of my league right now. Yeah, but if you want to help support the channel, then, have your message read, responded to, live, and come up on screen. Nope. Thank you for all the donations. I see that you said you're broke now. I'm very sorry to hear that. Hunter, is you gay? No, I'm, nope. Double Sauce, thanks for the 5. Nope is the real MVP. Nope, $5. Thanks, Double Sauce. Based Hunter. All right, thanks, Nope, for a lot of the donations. Really do appreciate that. Thank you. Hello. Hello, what's up? How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. How about you?
Doing good.
I like to get on here to say I kind of thank you first of all
Sure.
I was like right winged for like 2 days, and then when I saw them complain about a pair of shoes, thank you, because
You were just done with it. You're like, yeah, no.
yeah, um, and also because like I also used to be you know, kind of have a bias. Not I don't know, just a little problem. I used to have a little problem with like trans people, but ever since you brought up the science behind the transgender mind, I'm now just a big advocate. So
Dope,
thank you, man.
man. Well, hey, that's really good to hear. Thank you. That means a
So,
lot.
yeah, no, I also I kind of have some questions about what opinions have changed.
Yeah, sure.
So, let's see. I think like this one's like I'm a little worried to ask this one, so just give me a second. So
Hmm.
all right, so you know, your most popular, your most viewed video on YouTube, right? Trolling the LA's Women March, right?
Or trolling the Women's March, yeah.
Yeah. So you displayed the notion that we don't need feminism anymore. Has that changed? Let's get rid of let's ignore pop feminism, ignore those that say we should castrate men, just feminists, just the idea that like women are not equal and should be. Has that changed? Do we still
Yeah.
not need it?
Yeah.
Or
It's changed a little bit. Yeah, I think that
okay.
what makes like the current wave of feminism so like a little bit more hard to understand is just that it's a lot more about the like social biases that exist I guess against women. Which is a lot harder to pinpoint, right, than say women are legally not allowed to vote.
Yeah.
So, like, even when you talk about the wage gap, right, like, I still
Right.
think that you can blow those statistics out of proportion or whatever, but I do also think that there might be a reason why women are consistently not choosing to go into these, like, higher fields, like STEM or whatever.
Yeah.
So, there might be a wage gap because of the choices, but why are women making that choice, right? So again, it kind of plays into the social element, which is a lot harder to pinpoint down, and I think that that's why it's sometimes easy for pop feminism to take advantage of that and kind of go crazy with shit.
Yeah. You like unfortunately, like this is for every group. Unfortunately, like the minority speaks the loudest.
Yeah, and then of course the like anti-feminist wave did nothing to help with that. Like most people's understanding of what it even means to be a feminist is like a crazy man-hater.
Yeah. I don't know. Just like I don't know. I used to think just feminism equals man hater. That's not always the case.
Yeah. Yeah.
sh-
All right, man. Well,
yeah.
hey, I really appreciate you coming on here, all right?
Yeah.
And thanks so much for the question.
You're welcome. Also, I in the chat earlier, I meant to say, what games do you play with your Patreons?
Oh, I'm probably gonna do Fortnite, and I'm also thinking of actually, you know what? I'll tell you this, and the people watching. I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna get all the Patreons together, or the patrons together, and we're gonna do like a movie night, and we're gonna watch Now I'm a horror movie fan. I don't know what the patrons are gonna like. Maybe we can vote on something. But yeah, like there's gonna be all kinds of shit like that. I'm also, if I were to play a game, it would either be that cheesy little shooter game you see me play on stream sometimes, or
I saw you play that for a couple seconds. Yeah.
yeah, or Fortnite,
Cool.
because I'm a loser. But yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, man.
All right.
All right.
Have a nice day. Maybe I'll see you another day.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
See you.
Have a great day. Bye.
Really nice guy. All right. Someone tried to join and then they didn't talk, and then so I took them off the call, and then they accused me of censoring them. So I'm trying to call them now and they're not answering. Hello? Don't censor me. Answer the call, damn it. Well, we'll wait. Maybe someone they'll get on here in a sec. Oh boy. Hello. Hello, how you doing? Hello, how are you? We are live, by the way.
I'm playing the stream at the same time. Yeah, no, I just saw that actually. I just figured I'd join. I didn't have anything specific to talk about actually.
Alright.
I came across you a while ago in my earlier political journey. Before I got really deep, as I am now, have my own website and shit, like doing podcasting and stuff, doing YouTube stuff. I was interested that you were able to change your mind in such a way that influenced me a little bit within my ideology and the one I created out of my studies.
Yeah.
So obviously, and I figured I'd just join this waiting room because like, why not?
Yeah, sure.
So it's not exactly prepared, but so I don't really have anything specifically to talk to you about, but
Alright, yeah. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on then, man.
problem, man.
Yeah.
Support the continuing to advocate for some rational politics, although I myself am very anti-liberal democracy to some extent or another, which is something I might as well ask you, because I, as a individual, very into politics, liberalism and anti-neoliberalism, especially. And
What do you mean by
anti-liberal philosophy.
neoliberalism?
What I mean when I say like anti-liberalism, I classify liberalism in a lot broader of a term. And my biggest problem with liberalism, and this I kind of include anything that falls under this term to some extent as falling to the same issues as liberalism. I find the biggest issue to be a lack of actualization of ideology or
Mhm.
ideological beliefs. Basically, practice, basically be able to actualize your ideological beliefs, not just be able to have freedom of speech, but also be able to have the freedom to sort of move to your ideological place of most comfortable, kind of to some extent. Although I'm myself am anti-capitalist, so that of
Hmm.
course would be within a very anti-capitalist mentality. But I'm curious as to what your thoughts of are regarding the idea that perhaps liberalism, as a broad idea, I'm going to say it's any ideology, especially.
I kind of think, I
Sorry.
don't know, I have to look into that a little bit more. The economics thing is still something, it's going to take me a little time to learn, especially since I'm absolute dog shit at math. But generally, neoliberalism doesn't seem to be so bad.
One of my problems.
If you look at like the other countries, like the Scandinavian countries, even like they're largely successful because they've embraced more.
That's social democracies.
Right, but well, it's a mix though, and they do have more neoliberal policies of like free markets and everything else, right?
My problem with market. You're entirely correct. Yes.
I
my
feel
problem
really
with
bad,
also-
but I think I'm gonna have to go on to the next caller then, man.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, hey, have a good rest of your day. All right, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I guess this person isn't gonna answer. Hello. Hello.
Oh.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're a little muffled.
Oh. Okay, let me try just without headphones then.
No, you know what? I think it's okay. I'll just turn you up over here.
Okay, sorry about that.
What's up?
Well, I just called because I wanted to talk to you about something I disagreed with and see if I can change your mind.
Okay, you're breaking up
This is-
you are breaking up a little bit. So I'll let
Okay.
you know if it keeps on going on, but go ahead.
All right, cool. Appreciate it. So this is specifically about social media censorship. So I know you did a video. It was a debate video with some guy like a month ago. Do you know the video I'm talking about?
When I went on the panel.
No, it wasn't a panel. It was just you and one other guy.
Oh, that's
who
right. Beardson. Yeah. Yeah, I know what
was-
you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to say first, I don't agree with him either. He did a really horrible job and just kept yelling, and it was stupid. But I think that there is some information about social media bias that I don't know if you're familiar with. So if we look specifically at Facebook, your main premise seems to be that because conservatives get a lot of engagement on Facebook, that there's no real bias. Is that correct?
I mean, there is, of course, going to be some bias at times. I think that Facebook's even been transparent about how the people that work in that company have some bias sometimes, but that's a risk that we run with any company. Usually what I'm talking about is there being no algorithmic bias.
Okay, yeah, I'll still argue that. So are you familiar with, there was a Facebook spokesperson who went on Twitter and posted talking about the difference between engagement on Facebook versus reach on Facebook?
No.
So this would have been like mid last year. So he only showed data for 2 different days because on Facebook we don't know the reach. That's not a publicly available piece of data like the engagements are. But what it showed is that on the 2 days he looked at for engagements, you had conservatives like Ben Shapiro, Dan Bongino, the typical ones who were doing really well. But when it came to reach, they didn't even show up in the top 10. So you, as a YouTuber, I'm sure you know that engagement is one of the most important metrics when YouTube is looking at your videos, right? If people comment a lot and they like it a lot, it'll be promoted to other people. So my main issue with that is if that is how the algorithm is supposed to work, which it is across pretty much all social media platforms, I'd expect a little bit more overlap between the posts and the people that are actually shown on Facebook versus the ones that are engaged with on Facebook.
Hold on, I'm looking into this claim.
Yeah, I have it on my laptop, but I can't send you the links on my phone right now. But he was on Twitter. You could put like Twitter, Facebook spokesperson, reach versus engagement, something like that.
Well, I mean, I'm looking. I know that there's a difference between the two. I'm trying to see how conservatives do in those metrics, though.
No, I know, but the one on Twitter is the only one I'm aware of that's publicly available.
Okay. Social media platforms have, through algorithms, amplified right-wing voices, often affording conservatives greater reach than liberal or nonpartisan content creators. Report finds that claims of anti-conservative bias is baseless. This is one I just Googled. I'm searching reach specifically.
Is this a February report?
This is from
No,
4
that's
months
not it. Never
ago.
mind. Okay, yeah, no, I know that one. So
The report found that
As
Twitter,
far as-
Facebook, and other companies did not show bias when deleting tweets about the Capitol attack. Okay, hold on. So, just to be clear, even if I were to grant that, even if I were to say, okay, fine, maybe they didn't have that much reach, that doesn't prove anything. It certainly doesn't prove bias or
I don't think it's
discrimination
conclusive.
towards them for conservatives or anything.
But I think at a bare minimum, it does show that the algorithm doesn't quite work how it's supposed to.
That's not
Because
true.
in
Maybe their
one-
reach is just lower for whatever reason. I'm not able to even verify that. What I'm looking at is saying the complete opposite, it seems.
Well, I can send it to you if you'd like. Like, I can't do it right now because I am on my phone. But like, I have that. It's actually not. I don't remember the guy's name on Twitter, but he was a Facebook spokesperson, and it was in response to the CrowdTangle data that is consistently going around on Twitter. And he was saying, sure, conservatives do well with engagement, but the real metric you need to look at is reach, which is something that we can't really look at because it's not publicly available. So he had to provide it.
Well, there is
So I think
issues with a lack of transparency, which can cause a lot of these ideas to sort of fester. But I keep looking, and I mean, I just found a report from 2020 where Mark Zuckerberg is apparently talking about diminishing the reach of certain left-leaning sites. I mean, we're seeing that go down for left-leaning sites also.
So
The
I can
algorithm,
actually-
it seems to be pretty clear that the algorithm is overall neutral, and conservatives have an overall better engagement and better reach. Just if there was one time where
agree
Shapiro
with-
didn't have
I
as much
agree with
reach,
better
doesn't really
engagement.
matter.
I agree with better engagements because Facebook has said that, but I mean, I'm not aware of the specific study you're looking at, but all of the data on reach that I have seen has come from Facebook like workers, and it's shown that conservatives have not done very well with reach.
Then why are they
But
getting so many
here's-
subscribers, and why are they so popular? And also, how are they dominating engagements but not reach? Like, the way these
Well, that's a
algorithms
good-
work is the more engagement you get, the better your reach is.
Exactly. But they're getting a lot of engagements and not getting the reach. So there is an article on Politico, which is another thing I can send to you if you'd like. But there's another Facebook spokesperson who says that conservatives overall seem to be better at getting engagement on a visceral level. So he's not saying that it means that the algorithm is in favor of conservatives. He's arguing that conservatives are better at getting knee-jerk responses. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a positive or a negative. I mean, just look at Trump. It's only logical that he would get a lot more engagement than Biden, because love him or hate him, people always respond to Trump. So I don't think that means that, for example, in that video, you talked about how Trump got something like 85% or 87% engagements, and Biden got like 13% in comparison. But that doesn't mean that Trump is being promoted. It just means that people are going to respond to Trump a lot more than they'll respond to Biden.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could be right, but that doesn't even necessarily mean that there's not a bias there. Like, algorithmically, it seems that still these posts are doing fine.
But not when it comes to reach.
But then maybe that's
Like,
just
they're-
on them
they're
then. Maybe
getting
that's not
engagement.
maybe that's on them. Maybe that's not some algorithmic thing.
Okay, so
It's
do
like,
you,
I don't-
are
I-
you aware
I-
of the?
I'm trying to find I'm just trying to find some more information on this. All right. Okay. Okay.
So I would suggest you search something like Facebook spokesperson engagement reach Twitter, something like that, because it was on a Twitter thread.
Okay. Hold on. So this was a Facebook spokesperson that like leaked something?
No, it wasn't a leak. It was him coming out in official capacity, just pointing out that the CrowdTangle data is not, it's not all of the information that there is.
Okay, well, hold on. So there's a multiple different issues with this now because I just did a little bit of reading. So Facebook is really, really stingy about keeping this information. They don't release this information very much. So
No, they
we
don't.
saw one chart from like a 2-week time span where they didn't have that great of a reach. First of all, conservative engagement's down in general right now after the election, so I don't even know if that means anything. Facebook doesn't share this data. People are talking about how they'd give their left arm to track reach on Facebook.
I agree,
So we have
which
to-
is
so-
why which is why the very small data we do have available, I think, is the best we can.
No, the best data we have available isn't a chart from a Facebook spokesperson showing 2 weeks where the engagement wasn't that great for some conservative pages. That does not mean anything.
It's not that the engagement wasn't. The engagement was great. The reach was not.
The reach,
existent
sorry, the
compared
reach.
to New York Times.
Okay, so what? I mean, the New York Times might be more popular as far as reach goes. Maybe people click the share button more. This doesn't mean that there's some kind of an
But
algorithmic
that's an
bias,
that's an engagement. Clicking the share button is an engagement.
which would then expand the post's reach.
Right. But if people like conservatives got a lot of engagement, my point is how the algorithm is. All that we know about the algorithm is that the more engagements you get, the more likely your post is or your video is to expand and get more.
There are
reach.
various different reasons. I mean, these algorithms are like kind of ambiguous for a reason, right? If everyone knew how to go viral, then like the world would be chaos.
I don't disagree with that, but I think there is a pretty good consensus with.
There's a pretty good consensus that
reacting and responding.
Well, there's a pretty good consensus on when the data we have available shows engagements, and conservatives have a lot of engagement. If they don't get as much reach, that doesn't even necessarily mean it's an algorithmic issue. It just doesn't.
Why would you?
I mean, because all I have is your word about a Facebook spokesperson with a chart showing 2 weeks of data. And I have an article that talked about how conservatives do get more reach. So
what do they cite? What do they source?
I'm trying to. Well, that's what I'm trying to find.
Because I would be interested. Because and I don't know if I've seen that specific one, but all the studies I find, they always come back to the crowd tangle data, and then they always talk about engagement, which is fine, but you need to go, I think, one layer deeper, and that is in looking at reach. So there is one other thing I'd like to bring up. So shortly after the election,
we can come back to this though, because I'm going
to
keep looking around this. I'm going to keep looking for this.
That's fine. Facebook changed their algorithm slightly after the election. Were you aware of that?
Kind of.
So like it was in response to all of the nonsense that was happening with fraud and all that crap. So the issue that I have with that is, and again, this is another article that I wish I could send to you right now, but I'm sure you could find this as well. They changed their algorithm to promote what they consider more authoritative sources.
Okay.
The problem with that is those authoritative sources just so happen to be CNN and the New York Times. And there was also, I think, Reuters, which I'm kind of fine with. But my
is
point
this
in
a Facebook algorithm?
Yeah. So there is a New York Times article talking about this change in the Facebook algorithm, how it boosted places like CNN and New York Times.
Didn't it also? I'm pretty sure that also hurt some left-wing sources as well.
It may have, but the point is that the ones that were most positively affected were two left-wing sources.
Is the New York Times really left-wing? Really?
Yeah. They're not as bad as CNN, but I mean, they fired their op-ed editor because he allowed Tom Cotton to write an op-ed like last year.
No offense, but I don't believe anything you're saying, so I'm gonna have to look that up. But right now, I'm still trying to see what kind of, because I'm seeing it talk a lot about CNN and New York Times, but I'm almost positive that is not. Hold on, wait a second. This was reversed.
Are you on the New York Times article?
Is this from December 2020?
Yeah, it's New York Times, right?
Yeah.
Can you do a Control F and type in ensure? Like we are still ensuring? Because there's a quote in there that I think is pretty important.
We're still ensuring that people see authoritative and informative news on Facebook, especially during major news cycles and around important global topics like elections, COVID-19, and climate change. So my
yeah,
wait. Do you realize? Wait. All right. So there's layers here. First of all, I'm gonna get this on screen. This was removed. This was something that was walked back. So I don't feel that you were giving me quite the full story there. This was something that was like walked back, probably because of controversy. And also, let's see, CNN, NPR. While partisan sites, hold on, like Breitbart and Occupy Democrats saw their numbers fall. Hold on, this wasn't even a biased thing.
No, it's claiming that CNN is not a partisan site. Is not a partisan
news. The change
news.
resulted in an increase in Facebook traffic for mainstream news publishers, including CNN, NPR, and the New York Times. So basically, because some of these news sources are, NPR? Dude, come on. They are so neutral. NPR's
I didn't say I had a problem with NPR.
So some of these sources are more authoritative. I'm sorry if you don't like CNN, but generally speaking, their reporting is more or less accurate. And also, the New York Times has not the New York Times. Facebook and social media companies have a responsibility, yes, to prioritize news, especially around something like COVID and vaccines and climate change and election fraud. They have a responsibility to prioritize news that is going to be truthful and accurate and won't result in conspiracy thinking that can then lead to harm in the real world, like we saw on January 6th. So
But
this is not an algorithmic bias against conservatives. This is something that hurt both Breitbart and Occupy Democrats.
It's an algorithmic bias in favor of what are left-wing sites. Like
no, not left-wing. NPR is not left-wing, and the New York Times, I'm sorry, they're not left-wing.
Out of the 3 sources that were given, 2 of them are left-wing. Like, New York Times isn't as bad as CNN for sure, but they are at the very least left-leaning. If it were a neutral algorithm, there are plenty of completely neutral, like more NPR, Reuters. Why weren't those the ones promoted instead of CNN and the New York Times?
I thought that you said they were.
Like saying that you're, what was that?
So yeah, they're kind of left center. Hold on, wait. But even so, it's not so much about their bias; it's about if they're factual. And the factual reporting based on this media bias fact check.
It's about what they determine to be authoritative sources. That's the issue. If
well,
you think
they have the right to do that as a private company. They literally have the right to do that.
Of course they do, but that means that there is a bias in favor of those authoritative left-wing sources.
So we've moved completely off. So we went from there's an algorithmic bias against conservatives to one time Facebook did this thing that happened to prioritize some news sources, some of which were kind of left-leaning, and then they walked it back. And we also saw both Breitbart and Occupy Democrats get hurt as well as a result of the change.
No,
this is a far cry, dude. Also, they're factual.
Walked back.
It literally is saying Facebook reverses post-election algorithm changes that boosted news from authoritative sources.
If you reread that quote, how exactly does Facebook still ensure authoritative sources without promoting the authoritative sources we know that they promote?
Do you just have a problem that some of these are authoritative sources? Like, I keep trying to say this, but with this media bias / fact check, they are rated, as far as factual reporting, high. They have a high factual reporting. Let's go ahead and look up NPR. See. They have a center media bias.
NPR has high.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I have no problem
media bias
with
rating
NPR.
center.
I have no problem with Reuters. My point is that if you are promoting these, which are at the very least left of center, as opposed to just center, you are having a bias in favor of those liberal organizations or media sites, which means that there is a bias against conservatives. Because if you're promoting
no, that's not what that means. No, this is a bias in favor of like more or less factual reporting.
And
3 out of
three
the
sources that
2
just
out of
happen to be mentioned.
No, 3 2 out of the 3
happen to be mentioned.
2 out of the
We're
3 are
left-wing
authoritative and factual. CNN, I actually agree, kind of iffy. The media bias ain't too great for that one. Probably one of the reasons they walked it back. Good thing they did. But when we see 2 of these, we have NPR and the New York Times, both high factual. NPR center, New York Times center, maybe center left, and CNN a little iffy. Okay, still a far cry from the original claim, which was that social media is algorithmically censoring conservatives. This is just about
I said it was algorithmically biased against conservatives.
They've prioritized some news sources, and we also saw
left wing.
But we also saw sources that were both left and right failing as a result as well.
But that doesn't mean that it's still not biased. Like if I have a collection of sources and I throw out, let's say, most of them, but then the ones that I happen to promote are more left of center, they're left-wing sources. Even though I threw out other left-wing sources, I'm still artificially promoting ones that are on the left. Just because other left-wing sources were being also hurt doesn't mean that there's no bias.
Facebook confirmed that it has in the past few days rolled back a change that lifted news from authoritative outlets over hyperpartisan sources after November's election, signaling a return to normalcy for the social network. So this was a temporary thing to make sure that misinformation about the election wasn't spreading. And they wanted to make sure that they were prioritizing media sources that were going to cover factual accuracies.
But again, the Facebook says they're still ensuring that people see authoritative sources.
Well,
And
maybe if
Facebook views
conservatives can start
authoritative
reporting
sources
accurate, maybe if
as
conservatives
CNN
can
and New York
start,
Times.
maybe if conservatives can start reporting accurately, they'll get in here. All you're
It
seeing
doesn't
right
even
now,
have to be conservative.
no,
You
you're
can
seeing a
promote
bias
center
toward,
sources.
you're seeing a bias in favor of authoritative news sources. 2 out of the 3 were authoritative and center or slightly center left.
3 were left.
2 out of 3 were
my
highly
point is-
factual, rated very well as far as factual accuracy, and were mostly center.
If
2
you
out of the
truly
3.
want to avoid bias in your algorithm, why would you artificially promote those ones? Why not choose ones that are actually center?
Because maybe they're, well, first of all, they did. NPR is pretty good with
They
center, and
chose
so is New York
one-
Times.
yeah,
They're
one
New
out
York
of the
Times is one of
two.
the, also New York Times is one of the most recognizable ones. So they have various reasons why to do that, because of their rating on factual accuracy, and also because, like I already said, they have a responsibility to curtail false information that can lead to harm. This is not proof that there is some wide algorithmic discrimination towards conservatives on social media because there was once a policy that prioritized factual reporting, and some of that factual reporting happened to be a little like left-leaning. I mean, come on.
Two-thirds of it that they said in that article were left-leaning.
This
And
is a
again,
far cry
just
from the
because-
original claim.
Just because they say they took it back, if they still ensure that people see these authoritative sources,
They
and
didn't
those
say
authoritative
these.
sources,
They didn't even say these. And also, the change simply resulted in an
authoritative
increase in Facebook traffic. We don't even know if these sources were selected by Facebook, or if the algorithm just happened to boost it up.
It's because they were viewed as authoritative sources on Facebook. That's why they promoted those sources with this algorithm change. That's what the article says.
So that,
And if they're
yeah,
still-
they
if
say
they're
they
still
hold on, no,
ensuring that
you're
those-
misinterpreting again. It says after the election, some Facebook employees asked at a company meeting whether the nicer news feed could stay, but they were told that the break glass measures, including the NEQ change, were never supposed to be permanent. This was something to curtail false information, and unfortunately, conservatives have been spreading a lot of false information when it comes to the election, and when it comes to COVID, and when it comes to vaccines. If anything, this is a personal responsibility issue on conservatives.
But how exactly do you ensure that authoritative news is seen on Facebook without promoting that news? Like they say that they turned it back, and I'm sure they did a lot, but that doesn't, if Facebook is viewing CNN as authoritative news, and Facebook spokespeople say that they promote,
My
they
best
ensure that
guess
people
is
see authoritative news.
Yeah, my best guess
Doesn't
would
that
be
mean that there's bias?
no. I mean, okay, hold on. Bias, yes. Bias in favor of factual and authoritative reporting. And you know what? I don't have any proof of this yet, but I would reckon to bet that Fox News will be right up there with that authoritative reporting too. Because it turns out that CNN, Fox News, all of these sources that are pretty fucking partisan, when it comes to their actual reporting, it's usually more or less decent. It's usually like the commentators
I would actually
and the
push-
political
I
talking
disagree
heads.
with you on CNN, but also on Fox News. I don't agree with either of those.
I think that their factual reporting more or less is like okay, and I guarantee you'll see that popping up. What this could look like is sort of like what they do with YouTube, which by prioritizing authoritative sources means if, say for example, you're searching something like COVID vaccine dangerous, well, the first thing that will come up will probably be a video from, yes, maybe a mainstream authoritative source that, keep in mind, being mainstream is syndicated and they have a responsibility to share true, factual, accurate information. So that thing might pop up on the top of the feed to make sure the first thing people see is something that isn't going to be a conspiracy about COVID vaccines. That's a guess. That's how YouTube does it. So again, this is biased. This is bias in favor of factual information. Like, again, it's not my fault that people who are more center or center left report more factual information. I mean, I'm right in that group.
No, I'm not arguing against that, and I'm certainly not saying I want like InfoWars to be up there or anything. My point is just, if you're trying to say, as Facebook is, that they have a neutral algorithm, but when they tweak the algorithm, the ones that are promoted are CNN and New York Times, don't see how that's neutral.
Do you recognize how?
Do you
recognize that generally speaking, they might have a neutral algorithm, but being a private company and having a responsibility, they might be able to change their algorithm. Sure, maybe you're right. This algorithm for a time did increase the traffic for some of these sources, but so what? that was reversed, and generally speaking, the algorithm prioritizes conservative content just as much as any other kind.
I disagree, and we go back to the reach information.
I know, because you
If
have
you
stats from
prioritize-
2 weeks. Like, that could be a statistical anomaly for all you know.
But that's all we have. Like, if you
No,
can-
that's not all we have. We also have engagement, and we can look at the engagement, and we
which
can see
is
that
not the full story. That's
it might
what
not be the
Facebook
full
is for.
story, but it's a hella big chunk, and it's also very contradictory to the little 2-week chart that you have from a Twitter post.
A Twitter post from a Facebook employee. I understand that it's only a 2-week segment. If we more, that would be great. But we don't. And in those 2 weeks, we saw that conservatives dominated by far engagements, but they didn't even crack the top 10 in reach. I think
So
if
what?
nothing
Maybe
else,
they just had a rough
that
2
is
weeks, man.
something.
Maybe they had a
Then they
rough 2
wouldn't have
weeks.
Then they wouldn't have had so much engagement. If the algorithm boosts posts that get a lot of engagement,
We don't.
you
The
would
thing is, we
expect
don't.
some overlap.
We don't even
But
know
that's
that.
how-
And also, you're right. We
We
would
do.
expect some
We do.
overlap, but not always. I've had posts get a lot of engagement that sometimes just don't really get picked up by the algorithm, even though I'm kind of surprised. I think that it should. The algorithm is fickle, and it's like that because it's not supposed to be solved. I don't even think people working there are completely familiar with how the algorithm works in its entirety. So basically, we had one time where
sorry,
just
I
to
lost you.
summarize, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just to summarize, at one point, they prioritized factual reporting when it came to elections, and that's your proof that Facebook is biased against conservatives?
No, I think the reach versus engagement is important, but also that Facebook says they still ensure people see authoritative sources, but what they view as authoritative is CNN and New York Times.
We've
But
already
even if you
established
agree
that
with those-
we've already established that 2 out of the 3 were actually pretty center and also rated very high when it comes to factual reporting. Talking about the New York Times here. But anyway, I appreciate you coming
know
on, man.
and I disagree with you.
I know you disagree with me, but still. I appreciate you coming on, and yeah, have a good rest of your day, all right?
Yeah, you too.
Oh, God. Bias in favor of corporate media, both parties. Honestly, yeah. That was kind of a headache. Hey, losers watching. Where the fuck are some super chats, huh? That's right. What's the point of doing this if you're not going to support my damn grift? Alright, let's see if this other cuck got back to us. Oh, wait. Let's see if they answer this time around. They're saying, how about you actually refute what I said on Twitter? I don't know. Maybe I should stay away from Twitter. All right. We really got to get a segment in, you know? These discussions are so fucking fun. We got a lot of people waiting in here, too. Hello. Why? Hello. Alright, you gonna follow the rules, like no slurs or anything, alright? So what did you say on Twitter that I didn't refute?
Well, I feel like on your channel over the past number of years, your content has come off very, how do I put it, abusive.
Abusive? Wow.
And-
Could you explain, maybe?
Well, you know that some people don't always interpret property.
Hey, you're getting really muffled and really quiet.
That's my bad. I've got headphones in and I'm on a phone.
All right, can you get like closer to the mic maybe?
Yeah.
That's a
Can
lot
you hear me
better.
better now?
Much better, yes. So
All right, perfect.
You said you said I'm abusive on my
Yes.
channel? What does that mean?
It means the way you have come off, you could be interpreted as being abusive.
How?
Well, you do know there's something called psychological abuse, right?
Yes. I'm aware of that.
You are aware that not everybody can take criticism or interpret things the same way as you, right?
Yes. But I don't see how criticizing people is a form of psychological abuse. Maybe if I were repeatedly calling them slurs or something, then maybe, but usually what I'm doing is responding to arguments, right?
Yes, nowadays, but I went back and looked at your past content and it didn't seem like you were doing that.
Well, when I was still a right-winger, you mean? Because you were probably right then.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Well, wait. Let's stay
actually-
on the abuse thing really quick first before we move on.
Sure, no problem.
So, are you referring to my old right-wing content being abusive?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, I would probably agree more or less that some of my content definitely came off pretty fucking bad, and that there were times that I was using slurs and just inappropriate, gross language that probably could be interpreted as a little abusive, sure, but you surely recognize that now my content isn't that way.
Yes, but can't you also see that the way you come off even now to some people could seem that way?
Like what?
Like in your recent content, it seems like you're still being the same as you were back in 2016 and 17, just toned down a little bit.
But like what about that? You're gonna have to give me a little bit more specifics here, because like, I mean, I'm no longer bigoted. I no longer am gonna use slurs against trans people, but I am still gonna be harsh and brutal when I'm arguing with people that I think are stupid.
But just because
You're back to being muffled again.
I'm sorry, I took the phone away from my mouth, man. I'm back now.
It's okay. So go ahead.
Anyway, you are aware that not everybody responds to harshness the same way, right?
Yeah.
And just because you call someone stupid does not necessarily mean that they're always stupid, right?
Well, of course, but I mean, if you say something stupid on the internet, you're probably going to get called out. I don't think that you have the right to like say that's bad phrasing. I don't think that it's really a good direction to take to be like, yeah, I'm going to go and like post something online, or maybe it's stupid, and then if someone responds to it and they're harsh, mind you, not using slurs, not like trying to like invalidate them as a human or anything like that, but just like criticizing their arguments in a harsh way, and then you can't handle that and you cry abuse, then maybe you shouldn't be making arguments on the internet.
And why is that?
Because if you're not able to, if you're going to publicly make arguments, you have to be prepared for people to respond to them sometimes as well. I'm just to be crystal clear, I'm not saying that any kind of response is acceptable. If someone is responding by using slurs or dehumanizing people, then that's obviously a fucking problem. But what I'm talking about is being harsh, maybe calling people dumb or whatever. If they post something, that's fucking dumb. It's not really fair to claim that that's abuse.
No offense, Hunter, but you sound a lot like Onision.
Okay. I am offended, but what does that mean?
You have watched Onision's content, correct?
Dude, I feel really bad, but you keep getting real muffled.
Yeah, that's because I keep moving the phone away from my mouth. I'm going to stop doing that. You are aware that Onision probably approaches topics like this the exact same way you do?
So because Onision might approach topics in a similar way that I do, I shouldn't... What? Can you help me understand a little more? Like, do you mean that maybe Onision would also say something like, I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't care, whatever? Like, okay, maybe, but...
Yes.
Okay, maybe, but in the context of how I'm doing it, I am usually brutally honest in critiquing people's arguments. Sure, I might roast them every now and then, but it's not like I'm dehumanizing anyone. And I don't think it's fair for you to say that that's psychological abuse. If I were to repeatedly make videos dehumanizing someone, or encourage my audience to go attack someone repeatedly, or send them slurs or death threats or something, then I think you could argue that that would be acting in a pretty abusive manner. But that's just not how me and my audience behave and conduct ourselves. So I don't know. I don't think that going as far as calling it psychological abuse is very fair. I mean, what we're talking about at the end of the day is me criticizing people that post cringe online.
Okay. You are aware that what you consider cringe, someone else might not?
Yes, that's why I like to prove to everyone why it's cringe via arguing and calling out the cringe.
Okay. What exactly do you get from pointing out the cringe?
I mean, it would depend what it is. Maybe it's a conservative that posts some really dumb shit about trans people. What I get out from that is, one, reassurance that my arguments are correct and holding up via scrutiny. And two, I raise awareness to other people. And three, I help conservatives who might have this idea, mind you, that people who are more center left, people who support trans people, people who support BLM, those are all they're just the soy boy libcucks or whatever. They'll never be like edgy, or they're afraid to even speak their mind or stand up for the truth or whatever. And I don't think that that's a fair stereotype. That's not how I am. I am an aggressive debater. That's how I go about my stuff, sure. But again, the criteria of what we're calling psychological abuse here, we're painting with some pretty broad strokes, man.
Well, you are aware that in today's culture that basically anything could be interpreted as such?
As what?
Psychological abuse, because you have pointed out in your videos that everyone gets triggered, so...
Oh, do you have a problem with me using the phraseology like someone's triggered?
Well, you are aware that not everybody has the same emotional strength as you, right?
Yes.
It comes off like you think everybody should be a clone of you, and I apologize if that's not what you were getting at.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's what I'm getting at all. I don't want people to be a clone of me. I think that would be fucking horrible. One of me is plenty. I think if anything, I just want people to be able to see why their arguments are wrong. And sometimes deconstructing them in a more brutal way is the best way to do it. I also think that I debate people and debunk arguments. Oftentimes, I try to match the tone. Maybe not so much with videos, but whenever I'm in a conversation, I'm not yelling at you. I don't just start yelling or going crazy on people. I try to match their tone more or less.
Okay, fair enough. That's wonderful of you. I just have a question about your current religious stance, if you don't mind.
Okay. Sure.
Do you believe with absolute certainty that evolution is a fact and that there's no possible way that it could be wrong?
No, I don't believe anything with absolute certainty. There's virtually nothing. I mean, if you actually want to get super technical about it, the only thing that we as humans know for sure, 100%, is that we exist on some level. Everything else is we don't actually know for sure. And no, I'm not going to say evolution is 100% the complete answer There's always going to be some stuff like that. But like right now, it seems as if, yeah, the evolutionary theory is providing us with the most answers for how we got here.
Okay, so would you say that you somewhat have an agnostic position then?
Yeah, more or less. I don't know if you've heard me talk about my religious stuff before in the past, but I'm kind of back and forth with that stuff because I have a lot of like personal resentment towards religion and shit that I kind of have to work out, I think, before I can really rationally like decide. But yeah, I kind of go back and forth between being sort of agnostic and just being like flat out atheist.
Okay, because at the end of the day, I don't believe we truly know what's going to happen to us until we're gone.
Uh-huh. That's true.
And it seems like people who support the idea that evolution proves everything doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, people were to say that, they'd probably be being kind of silly. I'm pretty sure evolution is kind of known and recognized as a theory anyway. But hey, I really appreciate you coming on. I did not, in fact, censor you. So, yeah,
I was just having fun, so don't even pay any attention to that.
I know, I got you, man. All right, well, have a good rest of your day, all right?
You too.
I'm seeing a lot of haters in chat, and I'm wondering who they are in the waiting room so that I can get them in. Hunter's biggest hater. I have a feeling this isn't actually gonna be accurate. Hello? 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 Hunter's... you're still muted, and I'm kind of thinking you are lying about being a Hunter hater. Okay, what's up?
Yeah, so I got a massive problem with you going from, like, the best conservative commentator to, like, the worst, like, centrist.
Okay, what's up?
So, like, I just don't like how you lie to everyone about masks being safe and, like, you know, how COVID is an actual risk.
When did I lie about this?
Every video.
When I talk... So you're an anti-masker?
Oh, no. I'm not anti-mask.
So then how did I lie about masks?
Oh, well, because you said that we need to wear masks to protect us with COVID.
To protect us from potentially spreading COVID, yes.
Yeah, well, that's not why we need to wear masks.
So why do we wear masks?
Because the government hides trackers and oxygen.
Because the government what?
Oh, because they're hiding trackers and oxygen molecules.
All right, this is a troll.
No. It's not. I'm serious.
You're trolling me right now, dude.
No, dude. Come on, man. Like, I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, okay?
I'm just not sure I want to engage in this because I have a feeling you're trolling me, and if I try to, like, take this conversation seriously, I might look like a fucking idiot.
Okay. We should... No. I don't want to, like, make you look like an idiot. I actually
Really not? You're seriously not trolling right now. You're telling me you think the government...
No. I genuinely believe that they're doing that.
Okay, so you think the government is what now?
Well, they're trying to, like, you know, why would Joe Biden tell us to stop wearing masks once we get the coronavirus vaccine? You want to know why?
Why?
Because he wants to, you know, have us inhale all the government's trackers now.
Okay. Hold on. So how would they go about getting these trackers in the oxygen?
Well, you know how they tell you oxygen's diatomic in school?
Yeah.
It's not. They just want to tell you that it's diatomic so you don't wonder why there's another molecule attached to it, which is actually the tracker.
So they've invented a tracker on like a microscopic level?
Yeah.
Are you on shrooms right now?
Of course not.
Are you on any, like, you alright? Do you do some DMT maybe?
No. Only a little bit of, like, drugs.
Alright, man. Well, have a good one, alright?
Alright, well, I'm fucking with you, obviously.
Yeah, I knew you were. Fuck you.
Okay, I'm sorry, man. I'm actually not your biggest hater, by the way.
I know you're not.
Yeah, I'm really sorry for trolling with you.
It's alright. You know, you just wasted 3 minutes of my life I'm not going to get back. But it does make me happy to know there's not actually someone that believes in this.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I didn't get a really aggressive reaction from you. I mean, it would have been kind of funny, but then it probably would have made you look really bad.
Exactly what I said, right? I called it, alright?
Yeah.
Now get the fuck out of
Yeah,
here,
well,
loser. No, I'm just kidding.
fuck you.
Love you, brother. Bye.
Yeah, see you, man.
Hello. Hello, how are you? Guess not. Okay. Hello. Hello? Why is everyone joining and leaving, yo? What? Hello. I am good. How are you doing?
Yeah, so I just want to say that I've been following your channel for a couple months. I think it's really admirable how you always like say what you think. It doesn't matter like if you'll lose subscribers or anything like that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so my thing was, so I came up with this argument the other day. So I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
so okay, answer this question, right? All right. So
Uh-huh.
this is a hypothetical thought scenario. So a grown adult comes into your house, right? And they start like attacking you, right? In that case, you have the right to self-preservation to shoot them in self-defense, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right. So now what if a kid did that? It's like what if a kid just came and they started just like punching you and stuff and you knew that you'll never get hurt, but you knew that in a couple of months it would end. Would you be entitled to use self-defense there or no?
If, hypothetically speaking, you were going to get punched by, like, a kid for, like, 3 months straight.
For like a couple months straight and like biting. I know this sounds really weird, okay, but I'm actually dead serious. And say they're like biting you and scratching you and just like attacking you, but you knew in a couple months it would be over. Do you have the right to use self-defense in that situation?
Um,
Because I would say so.
you would say no?
I would say you are.
I don't, honestly, I don't even fucking know. Probably, I wouldn't, I don't think, but...
Do you think you should be allowed to?
I don't know, man. I think this is a
Because,
pretty
okay,
fucking
yeah,
bizarre
no,
hypothetical. It's so outside the realm of reality.
no, yeah.
I think
but
that
no,
if
this
you were to
actually
have
is a
someone
very
break,
reality.
I think that if you were to have someone break into your house and they were going to try to kill you, if that person was a kid and they were still going to try to kill you, then you would have the right to self-preservation.
Yeah, because the reason I bring it up, okay, it sounded weird at first, but the reason I brought it up is because this is legit the same exact situation with abortion. Because think about it, it's a trespasser, right? Because I'm gonna pretend like it's a real life, right? Because that's what the conservatives say, right? Life begins at conception. So I'm gonna go with that for now and say like, okay, life begins at conception. So then it's a trespasser that's causing pain for and you know it's gonna end in a couple of months. But like, I think that would be that's like the strongest case for abortion. Like you can say, okay, it's a life, but you still have the right to self-defense in that situation.
I guess it would have to be how did this fetus get there in the first place also. Maybe if you were raped, then you could deem it trespasser. But I mean, if you engage in consensual sex, then I don't know if that would necessarily be a trespasser. Maybe that was more of an invite.
Right, I thought of that too. But like, even if you invite the kid and they start attacking you, think like you would still. I think you would still be in your right to self-defense, if you know what I'm saying, like, you know?
It's an interesting hypothetical, and I will definitely think about it, all right?
Yeah, that's like an argument to try to appeal to conservatives. Like, if they think a life begins at conception, all right, sure, but it's self-defense. That's a different way to think about it.
It is interesting, and I am gonna think that through. This is part of the reason why I try to steer clear from abortion debates too, just because they're so philosophical.
Yeah.
But that's a good that's good. I like that. I like that. I like that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good rest of your night.
You as well.
Hello. 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 Guess not. Oh wait, they're trying to figure it out. Hey, you probably just gotta turn push to talk off. Hello. Alright, sorry. Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, how you doing?
Good, how about you?
Doing good.
So I had a few questions.
Yeah.
I should note I'm going into this. I have fallen out of the political field and debates for a bit now, but I'm trying to get back into it.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So I wanted to better understand your stance on policing issues.
Yeah. What, like, just generally speaking, or what do you mean?
Generally speaking, because I feel like from personal opinion, I want to see if this is something where I could debate on. I'm someone who is pro-police, but at the same time, I've recognized that there are issues to be fixed, and I wanted to understand your point on it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pro-police also, actually. That's part of the reason why I support police reform. So, one of the big problems that we have right now with policing in general is just that police officers are stretched too thin. So you'll hear people talk about like social workers or whatever, right? And whenever you hear people bring this up is, hey, maybe these are an alternative to police. The go-to, of course, is, so you would send a social worker to stop a mass murdering child rapist? Which the answer would be, of course, no. But it's more about reallocating some of the funds that go to certain police precincts and putting them towards efforts that can better help the community, and will also reduce the need for police. So, for example, I think it's in the state of Oregon, they've been doing this program for the last couple decades where social workers will take calls that are going to police if it's like a domestic dispute, like a nonviolent domestic dispute, and social workers will go, and sometimes they'll go alone, I believe, and other times they're accompanied by police. And it's just because there are some situations that there are other people that might be more qualified for handling some of that. Like, think about how we call the police. We call the police for virtually anything, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's kind of long-winded.
Oh, that's fine. I actually agree on that. One thing, this is from what I have seen, is for going on to domestic abuse calls. From what I have seen personally, I believe in some of those cases that a social worker would be better in that situation to help. But I've also seen in a lot of situations, specifically for the police officer's safety, where their safety is put on the line in those simple calls because they go from 0 to 100 instantly. And
Can
then
you,
there's some cases-
sorry to interrupt you. Are you able to be any closer to your mic?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have the best microphone. Is this better?
That's a lot better, yeah. Go ahead.
So, I'm sorry. I lost track. Where was I?
I'm sorry. I feel really bad cutting you off.
Oh, it's fine. So domestic calls, or domestic dispute calls. From what I've seen, like I said, in those cases, social worker I have seen would be better. But I've also seen in a lot of cases, and this is from personally reviewing body cam footage, where they'll go in for a domestic dispute, and then the officer would get ambushed, or the situation will start off small and then escalate.
Right. And that's why a lot of the times, sometimes we're talking about too, is bringing social workers with police officers as well. Let me see if I can find this thing in Oregon. Where is it? Hold on. Okay, so it's called Cahoots. I knew it had a funny name. How social workers and police share responsibilities in Eugene, Oregon. So, so the calls that come into the police non-emergency number and or through the 911 system, if they have a strong behavioral health component, if there are calls, this is when the social workers might take the position instead of the police, just so you know. If they have strong behavioral health component, if there are calls that do not seem to require law enforcement because they don't involve a legal issue or some kind of extreme threat of violence or risk to the person, the individual, or others, then they will route those to our team, comprised of a medic and a crisis worker that can go out and respond to the call, assess the situation, assist the individual if possible, and then help get that individual to a higher level of care or necessary service if that's what's needed. So, I mean, that seems like a pretty good thing overall. Let's see.
I can agree with that. That seems reasonable.
This is just actually, yeah, this is just an interview. I was hoping for a little bit more information about, like, if it was cheaper or how it was overall working. No, it says this has been around for more than 30 years now. Yeah. So, it does appear to be working pretty well. So yeah, I think we're largely on the same page there then.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
I was wondering because, like I said, I've been wanting to debate you for some time now, but me coming back into the field, I've noticed that your opinion has changed on a lot of things. My opinion has changed on a lot of things.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm hoping sometime, because I do believe from some of the things I have seen here, there are a few things that we disagree upon, but hopefully, with this discussion, I see we agree on this, and maybe some other time we can discuss something else.
Yeah, it's always nice coming to an agreement, you know. So yeah.
Agree on that?
All right. Have a good rest of your night.
You too. Thank you very much.
Nice, nice, nice. Hunter, bring me in. Come on, guys. Where's a hater? Why do these people... There was someone talking shit earlier. I know I think their name was like Charlie something. Why do these people never show up? All right. Hunter Disagreeer. You know what? Hunter Disagreeer, you're on. What's up, buddy?
There we go. Okay, I changed the name. We're good.
Yeah. All right, we'll keep this brief. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? I do disagree, by the way. I was initially gonna try to vegetarian pill you. But earlier you said that sex differences and occupational preferences seem to hint at gender inequality. So I was curious if you wanted to talk about that.
I mean, partially, yeah. Not necessarily inequality as much as like certain like social pressures, maybe.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I would consider myself an equity feminist, actually. Like, I do think that we still have a ways to go, but I don't know if I think that occupational preferences is the best example of that.
Could you
Because it
elaborate? Because
seems,
I'd love to hear more about this.
yeah, I'd actually love to elaborate. So there was a study done. It was by Richard Lippa in 2008. I can send it to you after this if you'd like.
Okay.
But it examined gender related occupational preferences in 53 different like nations, and it found that I can read an exact quote for you, but it found that there was basically like no mitigation with increased gender equality in occupational preferences. And they
Hmm.
believe that this is due to males and females. So generally females are more people oriented, whereas males are more thing oriented, which
Right.
is why they believe these differences exist. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, so when sex differences were analyzed at the aggregated level of national means, sex differences were very large and cross-culturally consistent for male-female occupational preferences, agreeableness, and neuroticism. Um, and sex consistently predicted men's and women's national personality means much more strongly than gender equality or the interaction between sex and gender equality did. So basically, what the researchers found was that in these 53 nations cross-culturally, gender equality had no relation with the jobs that men and women wanted to choose. Which is why I don't necessarily think that the occupational preferences is the best like kind of argument for feminism still being necessary.
So what's a better one?
I would say it's tough. I would moreover say in terms of I would moreover say in terms of equity feminism, like in terms of like people needing like equal opportunities and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I would say like socialized gender roles to an extent still are up there. I'd moreover say like in terms of like women being expected to say like have like longer hair or wear nail polish and stuff like that. I'd say is moreover up there. In terms of like job preferences and stuff like that, I don't know if I agree quite as much. I'm sure that if you looked a little bit further into it, there's probably discrimination other in other aspects as well. I just don't think that occupational preferences are a good proxy for discrimination. So discrimination still might exist even in those jobs, like in STEM fields. I don't think that as a proxy to measure discrimination, gender preferences in occupational interests is like a good proxy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, cool. Well, I appreciate the argument, man. That's very interesting.
All right, yeah,
I would
for
love
sure.
to look at. I'm gonna look into that a little bit more because
Yeah.
you know, I really enjoy these streams for this exact reason because then I can have people come on and kind of like, I don't know, help expand my knowledge a little bit. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, for sure. Only other thing that I want to say quickly before I go is I'm pro-life. So in terms of, just to kind of give you a counter argument to the abortion guy earlier, I'd say that most people would consider it different if you knew that the baby or child or whatever would fight back when you like let it in. So you basically said that you're almost inviting it in the baby example. I'd say if you knew that the baby would fight back, and then you knew that after you let the baby in, it would die if you like force it to leave or whatever, that would probably change the morality of it as well.
Hmm. All right. Interesting.
For sure. I'll send you the study though. Thanks for talking really quick.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, take it easy, buddy.
Hunter Indifferencer, you're up. What's up, Hunter Indifferencer?
Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh shit, I'm on. Oh Jesus Christ. Hello.
Don't say the N-word.
I won't. Don't worry. I just wanted to say, you make my day a little better, and you kind of really did change my view on like how like I don't want to say politically, but mostly like how these channels function, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, ever since I kind of fell out with the dumb right wing stuff, I forget what video you said, but well, I forget what video it was or some shit, but it was something you said a while ago. How crap? Oh, I'm sorry. It was just sudden. That's all.
What I
okay.
said seemed sudden?
No. Me getting in was sudden. Sorry.
Oh yeah, do you wanna? Yeah. If you wanna come back in a little while, that's fine.
No. I just need a deep breath. Okay, it was just sudden.
Sure.
Okay. I think it was something of rather you sticking to your principles than internet likes, and I have mad respect for you for saying that, because honestly, you have the balls, like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, it shows, like, you don't care about internet likes, and I like that. Like, it's a thing that's really rare to see these days, as a lot of people, I feel like you're genuine, if that makes sense, because I've noticed with a lot of internet people, they tend to say things and, like, do shit for money, and, like, just feels fake. Like, that's the thing with internet politics, in my opinion, is that it feels fake. Like, with you, I feel a sense of realness with you, if that makes sense. Like,
Well,
I don't know.
thanks. I appreciate that, and you know what? That means a lot too, because like you probably heard me say before that like my channel exists so that I can share my opinions on stuff.
Yeah, just don't worry about internet likes. Be you, and keep inspiring others to be themselves.
Thanks, man.
And yeah.
I appreciate it.
Hope you have a good day. And
You
also,
too.
to people in the chat, please play Titanfall 2, and that's it. That's it.
See ya, Hunter and Differencer.
Yeah.
Wholesome. Is there... Hello. Hunter, stop being racist and talk to me. You're on, buddy. What's up?
Wow, Hunter, I can't believe that worked.
Yeah, I knew this was gonna just not be a hater.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna tell you, every single person who has Hunter as their name on here, yeah, they're not a hater. I did want to ask you about a topic that I discussed about in this Discord before. I was just curious what your thoughts were on it. And if you don't want to talk about it, like, it's totally fine. So in general, it's about indoctrination. So I know that you're now an atheist, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, so I know you guys have like 2 kids. Do you mind if I ask, like, Carissa, she's still religious, right?
Kind of. She has a much better understanding of it on like a doctrine level.
Okay, I think I get what you mean then, yeah. So yeah, I mean, this does apply to you then. So I just have a very strong position on pretty much indoctrination related to bringing children to church. So yeah, I have a big 3-paragraph like text post in the Discord that I've written before. I'll kind of read out the first paragraph because I think you can get the gist from it.
Okay.
So a child's mind is literally a sponge for information from their parents. It is this way because it helps a child in the wild survive if they just accept what their parents tell them as fact without questioning it. So again, evolutionarily, children are built this way. So if you have a parent who tells their child, Jesus gave his life to save you, God is real, God is up in heaven watching you. You will go to hell and burn in hellfire for sin if you don't repent, etc., etc. Children will generally interpret that as flat out true without questioning it, because they've been evolved to do so. So, thusly, I view it as very immoral to bring any really young kid to church, because I feel like it's almost not fair for them to get an unbiased perspective on religion. Like, if you bring them there at that age, it seems like they will generally just interpret that as true and not question it in the same way that somebody would if they kind of came at it from like a third person perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree that there's a lot of impressionable shit with kids, and I do think that something that I didn't even think about until recently, and this kind of applies to me like on a more personal level, but like I don't know if you know, but I've talked before about like struggling with OCD and like anxiety and depression and shit like that. And OCD is oftentimes misunderstood by people. Like, it's not just like about being neat. It's actually about like, it kind of is a form of almost conspiring against yourself by always thinking like, what if this thought actually means I'm like evil or a bad person or some kind of like that, and kind of like leads into like anxiety and a vicious cycle. It's a whole thing. But Christianity like teaches that people are inherently evil and that they need a savior, that we're all born sinful, right? And so I think even that, like, without realizing, directly played a role, at least for me, in that kind of like mental illness as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and having that specifically towards a children or towards a child, where they don't have a perspective on the world. Like, their world is just you. It is their parents.
Right.
So yeah, if they hear all that shit in church, like, that can really mess up your mind.
And I, as someone who experienced that, I can say it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't sound like we really disagree on much. I was thinking that Carissa was a lot more religious than she used to be. Would you still? Would you? I'm just curious if I could get like your perspective on this. Then, would you bring your kids to church? While they're like still young.
I mean, we did visit a church, not like a couple, like I think last year, like a couple times, but no, we don't really go to church.
Okay.
And I'm not really
as
interested
an atheist,
in.
that makes me happy.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the position, and me and Carissa are both in the position of, when it comes to the kids, more or less like teaching them about what other people believe, and not in the direct, not like saying like you have to believe this.
Yeah, letting them know that it exists, but not telling them that this is what I believe, and thus kind of implying this is what you should believe too.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, there will always be influence from the parents on the kid. Like, of course, that's gonna happen no matter what. But yeah, no, I agree that when it comes to the religious stuff, I'm pretty careful with that shit. So yeah. All right, man. Well, hey, thanks for coming on.
Hey, you too. Take it easy.
See ya. QAnon, hello.
Yeah, hi, Hunter.
Are you actually QAnon?
Yeah.
Is this another troll?
No.
All right, what's up?
All right, so like, I want to know what were your thoughts on the raid of the Capitol?
Pretty fucked up.
Why do you think like a lot of people were there? Like, I just want to know.
Because there was a Trump rally.
Well, like, it was in a Trump rally. Like, a lot of us went there because like we believe that would have put an end to what was going on with, the pedophilia in the Democratic Party.
The January 6th riot was to put an end to pedophilia in the Democratic Party?
Well, that's why I was there.
Oh, so did you raid the Capitol?
Yeah.
All right. You want to admit you're a troll now?
No.
You were actually at the Capitol?
Yeah, I was at the Capitol.
All right.
Yeah, I saw Nancy Pelosi's toys in the fucking room too.
Fuck off.
You want me to send you fucking pictures too?
You're such a cuck.
Shut up.
Just kidding. All right, love you, bro.
Come
Bye.
on, man. Come on. Don't be mean, Hunter. Come on. You know what? Yeah. Actually, I am here to debate you. You are really mean. You're hurting my feelings.
All right, well, deal with it. All right.
No.
Bye-bye. I am mean. all good fun. I promise, guys. Please pick me, Hunter. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's up?
Hey, I'm not really much of a hater. Well, funny thing is, I kind of used to be. I just wanted to get on here real quick just to say something to you real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
So I kind of used to mess with you a little bit on Twitter. I probably said some messed up stuff back in the day, which I really do apologize for. It was back when you were kind of more of a right-winger, but I just want to say that, I used to follow you when you were a right winger, and I'm following you now when you're kind of more of a. I wouldn't say you're a left leaning person. Sorry, I just got back from exercising. My bad.
No, it's fine.
And I just but being more of like an open-minded person, just free thinking, and I just want to say that like after seeing how kind of I wouldn't say like compared to other right wingers, I would say you were a little bit better because I always admired your work ethic and all that. You definitely give me hope that a lot of people can that even some people that might seem beyond saving can change their mind. You definitely give me hope for this country, man.
Well, thanks. That means a lot, man.
Yeah, I do.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I really. You probably don't remember because I'm sure there were a lot of guys that messed with you, but I do really feel sorry for the messed up stuff I said.
Believe me, there's been so much shit said to me on Twitter, even on a daily basis. I assure you, I don't remember.
Yeah, I just wanted to clear that up. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably still some stuff that we disagree on, but I've always respected you for your work ethic. I feel like you do, unlike some other people on the right. I feel like even when you were on the right, I felt that you did research into your stuff, and I find like there's a lot of people who like to do this. So like I used to be on the left, but then I saw the light and now I'm on the right. But with you, I feel like your change. It's like you had these principles and you wanted to stick to them, and that's what led to you kind of changing your mind on a lot of stuff. And I really respect that.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it.
And just one other question I had, and then I'll let you go.
Yeah, what's up?
I've seen you make a lot of videos on some past right wingers. Like, you've done one on Lauren Chin. I think you did one where you took a jab at the quartering.
Oh yeah.
But you ever thought about? I know he's not active anymore, and I don't know what's going on. But you ever thought about doing one on No Bullshit?
Me and No Bullshit used to be like friends.
Yeah, I know. I saw that on a stream that you did with Vosh, I think. I remember back in the day. So
yeah,
I remember that.
Not really. Just because we did used to be friends, I think it could come off really seeming like very petty. And I've also you can check out my video on the gay Arthur episode, because I take some jabs at No Bullshit in that one.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. I don't think I've seen that before.
Yeah. But thanks so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to, clear up maybe some past beef, even if you didn't remember, and just say that you give me hope, and I really respect you, and I wish the best for both you and your family.
All right, man. Well, thanks so much. That means a lot.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, see ya.
Have a good one.
Hello, Gus.
Here, let me get a speaker. Hi.
Hi, what's up?
I don't know. I was just watching the stream. I got on the Discord. Here, sorry, my audio input's all messed up.
Okay. Well, cool. Well, thanks for joining.
Here, sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Chocolate Wang 34, you are live.
Oh, am I? Oh, what is this for? Are we gonna like debate or what?
I don't know. What's up? Well, you got a disagreement with me?
I suppose so, but not in the way you think. I'm not a conservative. In fact, I'm a communist.
Okay.
And the question is, why aren't you at least a socialist?
Would you consider a social democrat a socialist?
No. Social democrats are categorically not socialists.
Are you in favor of so what are you in favor of?
I'm in favor of the workers seizing and owning the means of production.
So would there still be markets in your system?
Yes.
Okay, so that's how you would determine the value of labor then?
I
So you're a
suppose
market
so.
socialist?
Yeah, I guess, because, I mean, markets are better than a planned economy.
Right, yeah, planned economies just don't work. So why are you a communist?
Because I think socialism should lead to the communist society where there's no classes, no cash, no state, none of that. It's all gone when socialism.
So if there was no state to enforce certain laws, how would things be enforced?
How would things be enforced?
Like, for example, let's say there was a factory, okay, and it was, I guess, would be like a worker co-op. I guess that's how it would look if it was a worker owning the means of production.
Yeah.
And let's say they're down in like rural Alabama, and then they've decided, you know what, we don't want any black people working at our factory, and that's what they vote. If there's no state, how are you going to put a stop to that?
Oh. If there's no state? Oh, well, well, we could have a government. It depends how you separate the two things. A government, we're still going to have laws, but very minimal laws. I suppose there will be at least a bit of a state, of course.
So there would still be some state, and just
Well, during socialism, yes, but again, this communist dream I have here, it could only be a dream, but I do want to believe in it, and I do think we should strive towards it. The communist dream will come after years of socialism, and socialism.
Yeah, but this doesn't
will
really
have-
this doesn't really seem to play out. Like, if you look at even like Scandinavian countries that do embrace more of the like neoliberal sort of social democrat ways, they seem to be doing really, really well. And
really,
also,
really
they're like, what are some of your concerns, I guess, with capitalism? Because listen, I know that capitalism has its problems, but I'm not sure if there's any issue that can't be fixed via regulation or bigger social safety nets.
All right. Well, let's see. Capitalism, right? Capitalism subverts democracy by its nature. Capitalism creates a hierarchy. I hate myself.
There's okay, so I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you could go.
I was just gonna say, won't there always be some level of hierarchy? Like, even worker co-ops are gonna need to have like a manager, right?
Except managers are hired and they don't have a role above the workers. They have a job that they do for the workers, and the workers do a job for them.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
So hierarchy, I think, with some regulation, which isn't regulation. Hold on. Regulation isn't necessarily a state thing. Regulation, we can have a society with no hierarchy, and I think that
But I'm not even sure what would be the point of that. Like, we talk about, for example, like worker co-ops, workers owning the means of production, right? But like, if you take a massive company like Google, for example, I don't even know if all workers were owning little parts of that company. Like, would they even be making that much difference than what they're making right now? And also, are there some people, like, isn't it fair to assume that there are some people that might not want to be involved in voting in like every part and aspect of like the business? Maybe they just want a job where they just show up and do their shit and leave.
well, I mean, they would have a choice to vote or not in the co-op or whatever. Yeah.
I just don't know how people voting in the company is necessarily going to make it all that much better. Like, what if they all vote against, letting black people in? Or another thing too is, like, I've heard people talk about, like, this is going to help with climate change. Are you of that belief as well?
Worker co-ops helping with climate change? I don't think worker co-ops can specifically help with climate change, no.
So, like, capitalism, for example, plays a huge role with climate change, but couldn't regulation kind of put a cap on that rather than, I guess, like a communist society?
Climate change is not one of the reasons why I'm a socialist/communist. Also, when I say socialist/communist, I'm a communist because I think we should stop at communism, not stop at socialism. So I'm just going to call myself a communist and imply that at one point I will be socialist. One of the reasons why I'm a communist is not it is somewhat environmental reasons because I think communism can or socialism can be somewhat better for the environment, I suppose, with of course regulation, like you said. But I don't think climate change can be stopped with worker co-ops or only worker co-ops.
Okay. So regulated capitalism then.
Well, yeah, well that would be regulated capitalism would be depends what kind of regulation you want. Um, yeah, like regulation and I don't know.
I would really
Regulation.
advise you to look into, economics isn't something I'm particularly strong in. So I kind of wish that I could challenge you in some of these assertions a little bit more, but I would definitely recommend looking into this a little bit more because, no offense to you personally, it sounds like you're a good faith and sincere in what you believe, and I think that's great. But a lot of the times this commie shit is so fucking like utopia. It's so out there. It seems to be overall better to just advocate for something that's realistic that we can actually achieve now. I guess that's kind of where I am right now. Like, and even more so, I'm not really sure how communism would work if there was, like, you told me there would be no state, but there would still be some form of government, and then there would be no hierarchy, but there would still be some form of, like, people above another. It just sounds like a lot of these issues could be solved via regulation in our current system.
Wait. Well, the government state thing. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not 100% educated on that one, but I can say that hierarchy, I think, can be I think it can be demolished, and I think it can't. Well, I don't know if it can be demolished in some ways other than socialism, but I do think it can be. Hierarchy can be demolished in socialism. Again, the voting for managers and whatnot, the managers work for the workers and the workers work for them. They exchange equal labor to each other. The manager isn't necessarily a leader of the workers, they work for the workers.
Okay. I mean, but
The
that's
workers
kind
work
of
for
how it
them.
is now, even, right?
Well, no, managers get paid more than workers right now.
But managers
Managers
do more. They
and
bring
the
more to the.
workers.
Well, yeah, see, this is the same issue, is because what you're saying is people should be paid according to the amount of time they spend working. But we don't determine the value of labor that way. We determine it based on the demand for that labor. So it sounds good on paper. Like, hey, CEOs, and there's stuff to talk about with people having like bloated salaries, CEOs making too much money, whatever. There's conversation to be had here. I'm not like a fucking shill for capitalism here. It's just seems to be relatively working. It needs some regulation, and we need to put a stop to monopolies. But it's not. We don't really base the value of labor on the time spent. We base it on the demand. That's the market.
I mean, listen, I can't really argue against that right now.
All right, that's fair, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on all the same, and I would just recommend looking into it a little bit more because a lot of this stuff on the surface, I know that it kind of sounds appealing, but it's unrealistic, and a lot of the commie shit. I'm not saying you're doing this, just to be very crystal clear, but a lot of these commies online are like mega LARPers, dude.
All right.
I would just recommend checking it out. All right, have a good rest of your night.
I mean, the communists who I do watch is of course Vosh, but you know.
Yeah, market
Yeah,
socialist. Yeah. All right. That was interesting. I'm not very good at debating economics at all. That's why you could probably tell I was taking it very chill. All right, I gotta pee, and then we're gonna get back into a segment. Unless we get a fucking hater in here. Unless we get a hater in here. We are, yeah, unless we get a hater in here, we're probably not going to be taking any more calls, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah, calls are going to be closed for the rest of the night. Unless we get a fucking hater in here that wants to come and talk shit. All right. Go ahead and put this here. Alright, what's up? I'm back, y'all. I'm a hater and I want to debate. Okay. I'm a hater. I don't believe anyone with their name being I'm a hater. Hunter's biggest hater. You know what? Just for the effort, Hunter's biggest hater, you get on, buddy. Yeah, it is, and I'm assuming this isn't really a hater.
No, I'm a big hater of you.
Or it's a troll.
Why aren't you a communist?
Are you serious right now?
Why? Yeah, I'm being serious. Why don't you want to free the proletariat?
Well, it's not that I don't want to free the proletariat. It's just that I think that it might not be the best, most effective way. Like, if you want to help workers, right, who are in shit conditions, then maybe we can kind of try to advocate for realistic solutions that are attainable in our current system that can benefit them instead of, like, I don't know, daydreaming of some, like, fairy tale utopia.
Well, it's not a fairy tale utopia. It's been tried in China, and it's worked under Mao.
Okay, so you're a tanky then.
Yeah, I'm a Marxist-Leninist Maoist.
So you realize that, like, your ideology is, like, pretty much just in line with fascists. Is there a genocide going on right now in China by any chance?
Are you serious?
I just have a question. I just have a question. Is there a genocide going on in China right now?
No, I never heard of genocide in China right now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, this is what you people do. You fucking hide behind these memes. You're a genocide denier. You think that China's communist.
What genocide?
Yeah,
What
exactly.
genocide? I'm not saying China right now is communist. I'm saying China under Mao was great.
Okay. All right, buddy. Well, stop living off in a la-la land. Stop denying genocide, okay?
Alright, whatever. You're just a capitalist bigot either way.
Yeah, whatever. Go fuck yourself, tanky shit. Ban. Guys, he's not a troll. No, that is not a troll. I've seen people like that debate. All right. Oh, God. I banned them. Tankies get the fucking ban hammer. No way. I am not about to go from the radical right to the radical left. Not happening. Sorry. Sorry, y'all. So funny. Just ask if there's a genocide going on in China. They have no fucking idea what they're talking about. Hello. What's up? Heckin' Hunter hater. I know you're not really a hater, but it's okay. What's up?
Why are you not a Voshite? Why do you not pledge your life to Vosh?
Why do I not pledge my life to Vosh? Maybe I have. Maybe you just don't know that. A lot of haters seem to think that I'm like, you know, Vosh is like, I don't know, controlling me like his puppet or something. Hello? Okay. Hey. Buddy, I feel bad. I know you waited a while, but I'm not hearing you.
Oh, sorry, my headset was on mute.
How you doing?
Yeah, why?
Uh-huh.
Will you take part of the commune of Vashistan? Do
You betcha,
believe in
man.
our Lord and Savior?
If you crash landed on an island and someone had a coconut, all right. Have a good rest of your night, bro. Illuminati on stream. I'm a hater. Illuminati on stream. What's up?
Yo, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Pretty good. Just a sec, the stream is still going, with the other guy. Or it's not caught up. I'm just gonna mute the stream.
Okay, yes, please do that. Sounds like there's a lot of background noise. Do you have me on speaker?
No, I don't. It's on a headset. It's my sister outside. I'll close the window real quick, and then we'll get to talking.
Okay.
There, that should help. Alright, man. So I get this out of the way real quick. I have a lot of respect for you, man. How your political views have changed over time. I've been a fairly consistent viewer for a few years now. Probably found you back in like 2017, watched you through 2018 and 2019. I'm starting to watch you a little bit more often.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you about what you thought on the ruling in California, the assault weapons ban being overturned.
You know, I would have to look into that more, to be honest.
Okay, basically.
I know what
yeah,
happened,
it's
but
changed.
I would have to read a little bit more about it.
Okay, hit me up in the DMs about that. But personally, I support the ruling. But what are your thoughts on gun control as a whole? Because yeah.
Yeah,
I've
generally
been exactly
speaking,
clear about that every time.
yeah, gun control isn't something that I would like debate necessarily. It's more or less something that, kind of broadly speaking, you know, I recognize, of course, the Second Amendment. I support the Second Amendment. I support people's right to own a gun. I support people's right to protect their own property. I think that that's extremely important, and especially, you know, to protect ourselves against government tyranny. But I also think that there are limitations there, and I think that we all acknowledge that there are limitations there. And kind of where we draw that line, I guess, is the debate.
What policies would you generally support? Like, what policies do you have a full?
Yeah, like generally.
Gun control do you fully back?
Yeah, generally speaking, I support like strong background checks. I think that people who have certain mental illnesses shouldn't be able to get guns.
If you're too dangerous to own a gun, you're too dangerous to walk free in society to begin with.
That's not true at all. That is not. That's a bullshit claim. No way. What?
Well, I mean, don't act like they aren't going to use something other than guns. I mean, cars kill more people.
I mean, sure, but you wouldn't give a mentally deranged person a gun and go say, well, go have fun. He's going to kill someone no matter what. Plus, a gun could allow him to kill more people.
You keep them locked up. Keep them locked up.
I'm not even advocating for locking up people who might be mentally ill. I just don't think we should be giving them guns. So, yeah. But hey, it's really noisy in the background, so I am going to have to split, alright?
Alright, see ya.
See you, man.
Hit me up in the DMs if you want to talk about this more.
Alright, sure.
See ya.
I felt bad cutting him off there. It was just so noisy in the background. I don't think it would be... Personally, I don't think it would be enjoyable to listen to on your guys' end. It's 3 a.m. here? Okay, yo, it's 3 a.m. here. I've waited so long. Oh, fuck. How's it going?
Yeah. It's going great. Can you hear me?
I can. I'm sorry that you had to wait so long.
It's fine. It was just, you know, like a fun bullshit name. I'm not actually a hater or anything. Disclaimer, I'm not a native speaker, so if I fuck up at any point, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, so I have a couple of topics for you to discuss. I mean, not all of them, obviously, any of your choice. So it's either your stance on why you are pro-life, because I never quite understood that. I don't think you've explained it, or I don't know about it. Either that, market socialism, or I can give you a hypothetical, like a trolley problem, but like the most extreme trolley problem I've heard, it's more morality. So if you want to discuss either of these topics.
Yeah, we can talk about the first two. The trolley stuff, the more philosophical stuff, I'm not as good on.
Okay.
But
Yeah. So.
market socialism, like it's I understand the arguments there. I guess to be clear, we're talking about there still exists markets, but workers own the means of production.
Yes, basically that's the main difference. Yes.
Right. And the main issue with that though is that follows the model that these people working in the worker co-ops are paid according to their time. Am I correct in that?
Well, not necessarily. Wages are determined by a vote. So not necessarily according to time, according to whatever else, more according to if you have a certain position, say you're an IT guy, then there's a vote, and by vote, I mean either you have a more direct approach, you have by vote decision of how much they would make, which I think is more tricky because people are inherently can be, you know, not necessarily good people, so maybe that wouldn't turn out well. But the
Right.
better option is to elect a manager, and that manager or a team of managers, depending of the needs and the size of the company, could from there decide the wages. Similar to how it
Don't we
works in a
already have
capitalist
that though?
company.
Like
Yeah,
other
but
than the
the
voting
main
portion of
difference.
it, right? I guess is the voting thing the crucial difference there?
Yes, I would think so because what I can see as a problem right now is that say you are well, an average worker. It doesn't necessarily matter what you do, but you're an average worker in a
Mhm.
multinational. So the thing is that you are kind of dependent of that job. Obviously, I mean, if you make I don't know minimum wage or even more than minimum wage, but you're not necessarily rich or anything, middle class about there, then you're dependent on your job. So the managers and the CEOs and the bosses knowing that could mistreat you in some ways, right? I mean, the
Right.
manager is not going to act in your own good interest because they want to act in their good interest. If they know they can give you a lower wage and thus increase the profits on the company, they know that they will be seen good by the CEOs and maybe they will get a raise instead or something. So I
Right.
think that's the main difference, that you have more abuse if you don't have some leverage, some kind of
So
way to control
here
that.
comes my question then is why can't we advocate for just better unions then? Wouldn't that be a lot more effective and practical as opposed to trying to like rework the structures of businesses, especially considering that worker co-ops there are like various potential risks with how they are structured. Like I'm not sure we've ever seen a worker co-op exist with like thousands of employees, and if one did, I'm not sure they would be getting paid anything better than what they are right now.
I haven't looked into the specifics for a while, but I can give you an example of a worker co-op. I don't remember the name, and I'm very sorry about it. I know it's a supermarket in one of the Nordic countries, so I think it might be Sweden.
Mhm.
And that is the biggest supermarket in one of those Nordic countries. I don't remember now. It is a worker co-op. It has hundreds, if not thousands, of employees, and it does perform better overall in many areas. But that's the first thing. But about
Yeah, there
unions
are.
and what
If
you
I could
said.
just add really quickly, like yeah, with I know with worker co-ops, it's entirely plausible. They like I do think from the data we have, which unfortunately is pretty limited and also is kind of a biased selection, but still from the data that we have, it does appear that worker co-ops seem to be pretty successful at the beginning and seem to have better worker productivity. But something there also is that it might be rather that the types of people that go into starting worker co-ops also happen to be more productive. Since we have such a limited pool of data there, it's really hard to narrow it down.
Yeah, right. And I can accept that claim, but I think that it's at least more, if not better, in an strictly economic way, which I think it is, but I don't have studies and data right now in front of me, so I cannot prove it with studies and data. I think it's at least more moral, right? Because you could argue that, I don't know, maybe in some alternate universe, monarchies are more efficient, better, and lead to a better outcome for all people, but you would rather have a democracy still, right? Because of the morality of having people be able to decide and have autonomy on
Yes.
each and every
Yes, but at the same time, that's a little different when we're talking about countries. Yeah, I want to participate in the democracy and I want to have a say in who my elected official is, yes. But when it comes to, like, my job, I don't know. Am I going to want to vote on, like, the various different decisions that companies make? Like, what if someone just wants to have a job?
Yeah, fair. But that's exactly the thing. Most worker co-ops work with electing a manager or a team of managers. So you wouldn't have to have a vote on every single thing that happens. Similar to how a country works, you would have, or not necessarily to how a country would have a few more votes, but you wouldn't have daily votes or hourly votes. You would maybe have monthly or every half year, or maybe every
Okay,
year
so
if
there
you
would be,
work.
like, sessions you would attend, and you would be able to vote in how you...
That is how I know it's done right now. I mean,
Okay.
you elect a manager based on the plan
So-
they have for the business, and then you see if that manager does their job and what they promised, and if that's not okay, you elect another manager and you vote on big issues like should we open another subsidiary or something.
Well, see, that's another issue, though, is, like, all the workers, depending on what the company is, like, let's say it's a fast food chain, okay? And absolutely no disrespect to people that flip burgers, all right? Nothing wrong with it at all. I fucking love burgers, and I love burger flippers, but, people flipping burgers in the back might not really have the best insight in where to open another location. Like, that might not be a decision. That might be like, now here's the thing. I can kind of agree with you on giving workers more democratic control in their workplace. I actually think that's a pretty good idea, to be honest, to have workers have the ability to vote on, I don't know, like on certain aspects of the job, I guess, but I'm not sure. I just don't know how that would play out, I guess.
Yeah, so on this
It does
issue
sound
of
good, though.
workers, yeah, on this issue, if you want me to expand, if not, we can stop here if you want to do your segment or something.
No, oh, well, I was also going to just say is, with worker co-ops, isn't it also supposed to be that the workers own the means of production, right? So they own the company as well.
Yeah, so they own shares in the company, essentially, yes.
Okay.
So that's another main difference. So yes, of course there are risks. Yes, of course you can have less educated people that maybe don't make the best decisions, but that can also happen in a country, and we still let people who haven't gone to a day of school vote, right? Because it's only fair. And we do have those risks, and when we see more worker co-ops, of course we can make them better as they appear. But I think that owning the means of production is the main thing, right? Because if you own the mean of productions, it's only in your best interest to do as best as you can in order to make the company something like that's really great, and to be really interested in motivating in the company. Whereas when a boss owns it, not only are you less motivated, but it's also much more there's a bigger possibility to have certain abuses, right? To have money laundering and things like that the workers don't know about. So I think
but I think I think that those kinds of issues could very easily be addressed in the current system that we have right now. But overall, I know that the practicality of it is kind of lacking in some aspects, but the general idea of giving workers control over where they work a little bit more, I am absolutely in favor of that. So I think that we can find some common ground there. I guess we'll just kind of keep it at that one topic. I do appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and thanks so much. I really enjoyed the conversation.
I'm glad. Have a good one.
You too. I keep putting titles in the thing, and then I end up doing nothing but Discord talks. Super chat, double sauce. Thanks for the $5. Why were you so mean to the tanky, but you educate self-hating blacks? Conservatives admitted fascists and the lot. I mean, I was mean to that tanky because they were obviously not acting in good faith. Double sauce. Thanks for the $5. Did Goose Liver refund his $100 after you debated him? No, no, he didn't. Goose Liver's a cool guy, all right? Let's not. I appreciated him coming on the debate. Nyan Cat Doge, thank you for the 2. Your views on Biden's job so far as president? So far, I think overall he's doing pretty good. Personally. Airplane, thank you for the $2. Good day all. Good day. Sam Witzel, thank you for the $5. I always love your content and how common sense you are. Thanks, man. Perfume Man, thanks for the $5. Only did because you made me feel bad. Hi. Did I really make you feel bad? I guess I didn't make you feel that bad because only $5. Pfft. Just kidding. Completely. Love you, man. Thank you. And my intent was not to make you feel bad. You don't have to donate if you don't want to. All right. Tankies are not equally bad to fascists, though. Don't be... Yeah, they absolutely are. Yes, they are. Tankies in many ways advocate for authoritarianism also. Well, we've streamed for almost 3 hours. I don't know. Do we want to cover anything else? I was looking for some Twitter beef. Wanted to see if anyone was gonna... Who knows, right? Oh, well. Hunter, this may be a spicy take, but who do you consider worse, tankies or neo-Nazis? I think they're both really bad in different ways and in some similar ways. I don't think it's really about who's worse. I guess if you want to look at it that way, you'd probably say neo-Nazis just because their ideology is a little more popular. Mo J, thank you for the $2. Tankies equal peak cringe. Yup. Keep going, Hunter. Okay, you know what? Yeah, I'll keep going. I'm feeling a little longer. I'm feeling like I can go longer. They're both politically irrelevant? Wrong. That's a dumb, very dumb take. You realize that, like, white nationalism is a bigger domestic terrorist threat. It's one of the biggest. I think it's currently the biggest. Hunter, I feel like you should just name these streams Discord conversations. Nah, because I'm gonna go ahead and get into a segment now. But for this one, I'm gonna need food. And that's something I don't have right now, okay? Because we're gonna have a little finale round here. This is where we've all had an exhausting time arguing with people, having nice conversations with some people. And now we're ready to kick back. And we're ready to just fucking relax. Alright? And I've seen this video go around recently, and I've seen other people react to it. I've only seen that they did videos reacting to it. I haven't actually gone over, like, seen their reaction. I purposely waited because I wanted to watch this on stream with all of you guys. And that's the body count video. The strangers try to guess body counts. We're going to get into it in just a second, but I'm going to have to go grab a snack, okay? Because we're talking finales here, all right? We're gonna have a nice round off to this stream. All right. Should I put it on the Be Right Back? Yeah, you know what? Be right back. All right. All right. Now we're ready for this. Okay. Let me change it. And I have with me here some chips that are conveniently blue, so they crop out with the thing. So chat, you are now in the chips. Become the chip. Embrace the chip. And we got my fucking mug that indeed says Carissa on it. This may or may not belong to Carissa. You'll never know. And I have my chalky milk. So now, we're ready to kick back and watch strangers try and guess who's slept with the most people. And just a heads up, people, if you didn't get a chance to talk in the Discord tonight, don't worry. This isn't the first stream. It's definitely not going to be the last stream. Don't you worry. And if you did still want to help support the channel and have your message read live, now is the time to put it in the super chat, because I will still be going over super chat. Umbrian, thank you for the $2. Here's your Antifa dividend. Thank you. So this video comes courtesy of Cut, which should be self-explanatory in and of itself, okay? Who slept with the most people? I've not seen this. I just want to see.
I think you're a virgin. When I was a virgin, I also stood with my feet out like this. I feel like there's something there.
Damn. So it just begins with like a straight up fucking just flaming that guy. That's the where's the face with the mask where he's smiling but behind he's crying?
There's something there.
We asked people to guess which strangers.
You like sex? Hell yeah. Who the fuck doesn't? Well, some people don't, but yeah, I like sex.
Today you're guessing.
This is so uncomfortable already.
I'm so excited.
Are you nervous at all?
Yes. As someone who is not very sexually experienced, I feel like I might not have a great read, so I'm gonna try. I apologize.
So this guy, so these, okay.
So everybody gave us their numbers beforehand.
Okay.
So you're not guessing, you're assigning numbers.
Got it. Here we go. 0. Oh, there's a virgin in here.
Uh-oh.
Okay. 21. 35. Okay, these keep going up.
21, 35. Shit. That's kind of gross. Next, they should do guess the STD.
21. 35. Okay, these keep going up.
Oh yeah, we got some experienced players in here.
I mean, I want to be friends with this person.
Is this real?
Yeah, it's real. All right, so you call out your first person when you're ready.
All right, so what's good, bro? Come on up here. So what's your relationship status, man?
I'm single.
You single?
As hell.
Single as hell, huh?
Did you go to college?
Single as hell.
Did you have a girlfriend?
Can you just imagine how uncomfortable this would be? You just show up and have to answer, like, basically just go through a fucking interview of your sex life.
Single.
You single?
As hell.
Single as hell, huh?
Did you go to college?
I did.
Did you have a girlfriend
I
or
did.
a boyfriend or?
Well, I had a girlfriend for 3 years.
3 years. Okay. Did you cheat on her?
No. Black men don't cheat.
Uh-oh.
Moving along.
I don't think you're a virgin.
What? So now we got racism too? No, I'm just kidding.
Moving along.
I don't think you're a virgin, but you're not too high. I'm gonna give you a 3.
I'm gonna give you a 3. You seem pretty chill. You seem like the type of person you really want to get to know someone. You just want to vibe, catch a vibe.
I do like vibes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you a 3. You're
Yeah, I like vibes. All right, yeah. So that makes you a fucking virgin. Read this vibe.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Claire.
Claire. Okay, you're short like me.
I know, I'm looking you in the eyes.
Yes, and there is the stereotype that, you know, short people, we're a little freaky.
She's short, which I love. I just fucking love short women, so.
Do you think she
This is
looks like
creepy.
innocent? Do you think
Do you think she looks freaky? Fuck, dude.
Short women, so.
do you think she looks like innocent? Do you think she looks freaky?
Man, see, that's the shit. Like, you will never fucking know. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
Like, I feel like maybe you might be like the bondage type, and then I would probably assume that you had like a higher number.
Yeah.
Your career is over, Hunter. How about you call this for what it is? Disgusting content. No wonder kids are so messed up. Hey, it's you again. Get in the Discord right fucking now or you're gonna get banned. ID. Get in the Discord. Also, what do you mean no wonder kids are fucked up? This isn't necessarily for kids. Oh, God. All right, let's continue.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 30.
Right.
30?
The way you dress kind of implies that you're busy. I don't know if you have time for 1,500 people entering you.
Did someone say 15? Okay, whoa. This is getting more and more uncomfortable. Maybe I don't want to be eating right now. All right, hold up.
And then I would probably assume that you had like a higher number.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 30.
Right. Why middle of the pack?
The way you dress kind of implies that you're busy. I don't know if you have time for 1,500 people.
Did someone have
entering you.
1,500 on the thing?
Or-
Hey, ID, get in the fucking Discord. Get in the Discord, buddy. What's your name in Discord?
You entering them?
What's up, man?
What?
What is your relationship status?
I am married to my husband, and I also have a boyfriend. Am I confusing? Is that what's going
Nah,
on?
hell no. See, you're giving me this vibe, man. You
I
got
got
that
a vibe?
laid back Kingslayer shit.
Have you ever had a threesome?
Yes.
4 some? Yeah, 5 some? Damn.
I don't think you're the 1500 one.
Why don't you think I'm the 1500?
I don't know.
The 1500 person might be someone who could attract anyone. I think maybe you're someone that would attract a smaller subset of people. I'm gonna go with 21.
I'm gonna go for it.
He is not 21. No way. He's just not. He's got a higher body count than that.
He's gonna get this one right here.
I have found the Kingslayer. My man's is slinging that pipe, man.
The
Hello.
1500.
What's your name?
Kev.
How old are you, bro?
22.
22?
I don't look like it, do I?
Nah, you look like you like 12, bro. I ain't gonna
Hey.
Do you party?
You know what? I feel bad for this kid because I was literally that kid. Stop eating? No! What am I supposed to do? Starve to death? But anyway, I was that kid. I was the kid that everyone was like, you look super young. Are you really that old?
But,
What does your partying look like?
Basic
one.
one, yeah. This one.
Child, no.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with that number, but I can just tell, like, you don't have your rhythm yet.
I think you're a virgin. When I was a virgin, I also stood with my feet out like this. I
What?
feel like there's something there.
I think my man's is in the lows. I'm gonna say you got 3 though, man.
I feel like for his
Maybe maybe we're about to get a fucking like plot twist and he's the 1500. Hey ID, still waiting for ya. You've been talking shit the entire stream, all 3 hours. So where are you, pal?
age, this is a fitting number.
I like it. Okay. How many tattoos do you have?
Probably like 16 or 17.
Okay, you stopped counting.
Yeah.
So you're not 1500. Because that person did not stop counting.
So what's your relationship status?
I'm currently engaged.
Engaged? Oh shit.
So, like, you guys do threesomes?
Yeah.
Would you invite Shannara to it?
Huh, wait. Well, I mean, would you?
No. No offense.
Why not?
She and I have not explored a threesome with another woman yet.
There's not Hunter ASMR happening, you creeps. Just kidding. Everyone spam ID in Discord. I mean in chat. Because this little prick has been talking mad shit and he's not showing up. I see Hunter is a grifter. Could this be him? Hello? Hunter is a grifter. Is this ID?
Wait, who?
Are you ID? Are you the one talking shit in chat?
Who's ID?
Alright, do you think I'm a grifter or not? Or is this a troll?
No, I think you're a grifter.
Okay, what's up?
So I used to really like you when you were on the right. You know, like your videos are really good, and I don't know why you had to switch on us. Like, is it because like the media was going left wing or something?
Yeah. Yep, you got me. That's it.
Why?
You know? Money.
You're really cool and based before, man.
Well, do you know what a grifter is by definition?
Yeah, you.
For real though, do you know what the definition is?
No, like I literally looked up grifter. I'm like, I could like send this to you in chat. It literally just shows you.
You're very funny.
No, I'm actually serious. I could send it to you.
Okay, gotcha. But yeah, alright. I'm gonna go ahead and assume that you're probably just here to kind of troll, more or less. So,
No, I don't do a little trolling. I'm not like a right winger like Donald Trump. You know what I mean? I am not like a Trump supporter.
who are you? Like, what's your position on stuff?
Oh, I kind of like Bernie Sanders and AOC.
So why do you think I'm a grifter?
Because it kind of seems like you're trying to just like force your views on people, like your right wing audience.
So that's not the definition of grifter at all.
Oh, well, then what is it?
Your name in Discord is Hunter as a grifter, and you don't know what a grifter is?
Okay, here, let me change my name really quickly.
Kind of makes me think you don't actually, like, know what you're talking about at all.
No, I actually do know what I'm talking about, trust me. Anyway, what do you think of Bernie Sanders?
He's all right, I guess.
What do you think of AOC?
She's not that great.
Would you say she's kind of bad?
I mean, I guess. Where are you going with this?
Like, if she offered you, would you take her feet pics?
All right, fuck you. Have a good rest of your night.
You too, man.
All right. I'm getting really sick of this. These trolls. ID is not showing up. He's way too scared. All right, guys. Well, I'm just going to end the stream because I'm just... Double Sauce, thank you for the $10. Suggestion, please focus more on the topics you have planned instead of 90% Discord. I really like the news you bring in your insight instead of arguing haters. Yeah, I really got to do better at breaking it up. So that's what I'm going to start doing. But yeah. But thank you very much for the suggestion. And thank you to everybody that tuned in tonight. I enjoyed the discussions and the debates I had with some of these people. Lots of fun. And thank you to everybody that tunes in and watches and